Chapter 927. This kind of attack lasted for 10 minutes. Ji Songzi was tortured and suffered several heavy blows from the golden puppet. He almost fainted. It could be said that he was suffering unspeakably. Even the sacred armor on his body was about to be shattered. Realizing that he was no match for him, Ji Songzi decisively used the teleportation talisman. But to his despair, the teleportation talisman seemed to have been damaged and couldn't teleport him out of here. Su-chun, tell your spirit pets to stop. I have something to say. Ji Songzi roared desperately. If he continued to be beaten like this, he would be beaten to death sooner or later. He could only calm Su-chun down first. When Su-chun saw that the time was almost right, he also let the group of spiritual pets retreat. Do you have any last words? Su-chun stared at Ji Songzi and said faintly, Su-chun, I can give you everything. In addition, I can also return the dwarf continent to Wu Yazi as long as you spare my life. Ji Songzi gasped for breath. Su-chun and Wu Yazi looked at each other and sneered at the same time. Ji Songzi was like a retard. Wouldn't they get all these things if they killed him? Did they still need him to give them? Don't you have anything else of value? For example, secret realms or something like that? Su-chun asked. He wouldn't let Ji Songzi go. The reason why he said so much was that he wanted to see if he could take the opportunity to get some useful information. I don't know anything about secret realms. I've been in seclusion on the dwarf continent in recent years. Ji Songzi said truthfully. Su-chun shook his head. So you're no longer useful. Feeling a murderous intent, Ji Songzi was shocked. He gritted his teeth and said, Su-chun, don't kill me. I can submit to you. I'm a second-stage sacred rank powerhouse. In order to survive, he couldn't care so much anymore. Moreover, in his opinion, with his cultivation, Su-chun would definitely be tempted. I don't care about people like you. Su-chun quickly rushed to Ji Songzi and launched a drunken dream from afar. You. Before Ji Songzi could react, he fell into a daze. Su-chun rushed forward and chopped down with his sword. At the same time, a black whirlpool that was about 10 feet in size rapidly fell on Ji Songzi's head. Creak. Crack. Accompanied by a shattering sound. The armor that wrapped around Ji Songzi's head shattered one after another. His head was also shattered by the black vortex, and he died on the spot. Instantly, thousands of fragments emerged from his body. Su-chun collected all the fragments and found a storage pouch on Ji Songzi's body. He also took off the purple armor. The defensive power of the purple armor was astonishing. Although it was damaged, Wu Yazi should be able to repair it. Senior, this armor is for you. After returning to Wu Yazi's side, Su-chun gave him the purple armor. With this armor and the 18 shields, Wu Yazi's defensive power was even greater than the gold-devouring beetles. Then I'll accept it. Having been with Su-chun for so long, Wu Yazi didn't stand on ceremony. Later, Moon Spirit put away the Moonshine City, and Su-chun's trio returned to the intelligent war chariot. Ji Songzi was dead, and the next step was to recruit master craftsmen. Wu Yazi had to personally do this kind of recruitment. After spending 3 days, Wu Yazi recruited 10 master craftsmen. After Su-chun arranged for them to enter the primal chaos space, he said to Wu Yazi, Senior, help me forge 100 sacred swords as soon as possible. Chapter 928. As Su-chun's level continued to increase, the opponents he encountered also became stronger. Attacks like the Pegasus Meteor Punch were no longer enough to cause damage to his opponents. Currently, only the 10,000 lights killing technique and ice and fire magic could deal a fatal blow to his opponents. However, ice and fire magic had great limitations. After using it, there would be a period of weakness. Therefore, Lin Yu urgently needed to develop another killer move. The 100 swords in one's killing power was definitely not ordinary. It was the most suitable new trump card. Don't worry, I will definitely create 100 holy swords in the shortest time possible. Wu Yazi promised. Thank you, Senior. Su-chun thanked him. After that, Wu Yazi entered the chaos space and gathered a group of master blacksmiths to create the holy swords in full swing. Satoshi, which race's boundary point is it connected to? Su-chun asked. The Starry Sky Grand Competition would begin in half a year. He had to take advantage of this time to collect more fragments. Therefore, he had to seize the time to hunt down those who had offended him. Master, there are 2 boundary points nearby. One is connected to the Tong race, and the other is connected to the Protoss. The intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Tong race Protoss, Suchin muttered. It was the first time he had heard of the Tong race. As they did not interact with each other, and had no enmity to speak of, he did not plan to go to the Tong race. However, it was different for the Protoss. He had a deep grudge with the 5 super races. There had been several major battles. He had long planned to destroy the Protoss. Satoshi, enter the Protoss, Suchin ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot locked onto the boundary point that was connected to the Protoss, and activated the teleportation function. Suchin suddenly exclaimed softly. He had experienced the intelligent war chariot's teleportation several times. It was nothing more than the world spinning. However, this did not happen this time. In front of him was endless darkness. There was also a suffocating silence. Suchin realized that something was wrong. He anxiously called out, Satoshi, what happened? There was no reply, and the surroundings were still eerily silent. Could it be that something went wrong while the intelligent war chariot was traveling and it fell into a deep sleep? Suchin narrowed his eyes as his mind raced. Regardless of whether or not this was the case, he had to first determine where he was. Suchin immediately released his mental strength to explore the surroundings, but he was surprised to find that his mental strength could only linger around his body, and could not extend outwards at all. What exactly happened? This was the first time something like this had happened. Suchin couldn't help but frown deeply. Suchin, don't panic. Suddenly an aged voice entered Suchin's ears. Who? Suchin was shocked. He quickly looked around, and a bright spot appeared in his line of sight. This bright spot was rapidly approaching from afar. When it arrived in front of Lin Yu, it was a silver-haired old man who was emitting a brilliant light. This person sat cross-legged on a 9-colored lotus mountain. Although he did not do anything, he gave off a powerful feeling that he could summon clouds and rain with a flip of his hand. It was as if everything in the world was under his control. Senior, you know me? Suchin sized up the other party and asked in a low voice. He was sure that this was the first time he had seen this mysterious old man in front of him. How did the other party know his name? This is the first time we've met, but I've heard of your name long ago. The mysterious old man laughed. Chapter 929. Senior, who are you? Suchin asked coldly. Appearing here inexplicably, it must be the mysterious old man's doing. Who exactly was that mysterious old man? What means did he use to get me here? My name is Wutsong. The mysterious old man said lightly, then chuckled. But the people of the myriad races call me the Realm Lord. Realm Lord? Suchin's eyelids twitched and he cried out. You are the Realm Lord of the myriad races. When he was in the undead races continent, he heard Venerable Wuyo talk about the Realm Lord of the myriad races, but he didn't expect to see it with his own eyes. Rumor has it that the Realm Lord is likely to be a God State expert. Suchin knew that he was definitely not a match for a God State expert, and he couldn't help but feel uneasy. I didn't expect you to know about me before entering the void. You are indeed not simple. Wutsong laughed. Senior, why did you bring me here? Suchin probed. Don't worry, I have no ill intentions towards you, I just want to chat with you. Wutsong smiled faintly, and his tone was very gentle. Chat. The dignified Realm Lord of the myriad races, the #1 expert in the void, actually wanted to chat with someone? Are all Realm Lords so free? Suchin clicked his tongue and asked, Senior, how did you have the confidence to get me here? He was clearly shuttling between realms. Could it be that a God State expert was so powerful that he could move people to other realms at will? I was just communicating with you through a trace of divine thought. Your body has now entered the God race's continent, but you have fallen into a coma. Wutsong explained with a smile. Divine thought communication? Suchin heaved a sigh of relief, and asked, What does Senior want to talk to me about? The Realm Lord of the myriad races wanted to chat with someone. He definitely wouldn't talk about trivial things. He was clear about this. The content of the chat is actually very simple. I hope you will stop killing and not continue to hunt people of other races? Wu Tsang said seriously. And Lin Yu didn't expect Wu Tsang to talk to him about this. However, it was definitely not a simple matter to let those people of other races go. Let's not talk about the irreconcilable enmity between them. The crux of the matter was that killing the mutated tribesmen would drop fragments. Without fragments, how could he increase his strength quickly? Senior, the foreign races can kill human cultivators. Why can't I kill them? Su Chen did not intend to compromise and argued strongly. Wu Tsang shook his head and sighed. The fights between the other races and the human race can only be regarded as small skirmishes. It's not enough to cause serious damage. But you're different. You can easily wipe out an entire clan. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said coldly, according to Senior, only the non-human race can bully me. But I can't fight back. Indeed, Wu Tsang was right, but he still did not want to accept it. So what if he was a deity realm expert? Could a deity realm expert be unreasonable? Wu Tsang smiled bitterly and said, You say these words like you've suffered a great grievance? Who among the other races doesn't know how powerful you are? When they see you, it's like a mouse seeing a cat. They can't wait to avoid you. Who would dare to provoke you? That's now. In the past, they bullied me a lot. Su Chen said in a muffled voice. Even in the past, the mutated tribesman suffered a great loss in his hands. The reason why he said this was completely for Wu Tsang to hear. Wu Tsang thought for a moment and said, Then what do you want to let them go? As long as it's not too much, I can make the decision on their behalf. Chapter 930. Senior, why are you helping the strange races? Su Chen asked, puzzled. Reaching Wu Tsang's realm, shouldn't he be detached from worldly affairs and wholeheartedly focus on cultivation? There are some things that only people at my level can know, Wu Tsang said meaningfully. Wu Tsang said meaningfully, then chuckled. The enemy of our myriad races is the void beasts. If you kill the people of the other races, who will resist them? With you here, will the void beast dare to be presumptuous? Su Chen said directly. A god realm expert could overturn rivers and seas. Who would dare to go against a god realm expert? You only know one thing, but not the other. Wu Tsang explained. The void beast also has a god realm expert. Moreover, we have an agreement that we can't act casually. Su Chen pondered for a moment. Then he said, Senior, even if you protect those trash, they won't be a match for the void beast, right? Wouldn't that be a waste of cultivation resources? Wu Tsang had already said so. If it was someone else, they would have already agreed. However, Su Chen didn't intend to let the strange races go so easily. They are indeed trash in your eyes. However, trash also has room to grow. If you kill them directly, how will they have a chance? Wu Tsang explained. Senior, there is one thing I don't understand. Su Chen thought for a moment. Then he said slowly, with your strength, it should be easy to deal with me. Why don't you just do it? In front of a god realm expert, he really had no room to resist. Deal with you? Wu Tsang laughed. You are important to me. How can I bear to deal with you? Important? Su Chen was a little confused. Since he was so important, shouldn't he protect him? Why did he stop him from killing the strange races? Senior, what do you mean? Can you explain it more clearly? Su Chen asked. I still say the same thing. When you reach my level, you will naturally understand. It is useless to say more now. Wu Tsang laughed. Wu Tsang's concealment made Su Chen very uncomfortable, but he couldn't do anything to Wu Tsang. After thinking for a moment he said, Senior, I don't have to kill the outsiders on the continent, but in the void, I won't let them do as they please. He had long since sworn that he would uproot those human and outsider saint-grade experts who had been scheming against him. This was a fact that could not be changed. Even if he had to shed all pretense of cordiality with Wu Tsang, it did not matter. Once we enter the void, you can do whatever you want. If they die in your hands, they can only blame themselves for not being strong enough. I will not interfere. Of course, if you are in danger, I won't help you. Wu Tsang promised and then said, Of course, if you are in danger, I won't help you. Su Chen nodded. Since this matter has been settled, It's time to talk about compensation. Name a number, Wu Song said indifferently. For Senior's sake, I won't ask for much. Ask the strange races who have offended me, especially the 5 great races, to give me 100 mechanical hearts and 100 ores that can upgrade the strange flame. Lin Yu said seriously. Besides the fragment, these 2 were the only things that could help him. Of course, this number was a little too much. He just casually mentioned it and waited for Wu Song to bargain. Wu Song smacked his lips. He knew that Su Chen would take the opportunity to ask for an exorbitant price, but he didn't expect it to be so ruthless. 20 mechanical hearts and 20 ores that can upgrade the strange flame. In addition, I will give you something else as compensation, Wu Song said. Chapter 931. Su Chen was satisfied with the compensation, so he said with a smile, "Thank you, Senior." Wu Song nodded and reminded him, "Su Chen, I hope you can reach the divine realm as soon as possible, or your life will be in danger." What? Su Chen frowned. He didn't understand why Wu Song said that. Wu Song explained, "I know something about you and Heaven Scattering Taoist. He is the one who wants to kill you." Heaven Scattering Taoist? Su Chen looked serious and asked, "Senior, what's the cultivation of Heaven Scattering Taoist?" He had known that Heaven Scattering Taoist wanted to kill him, but he didn't know how powerful Heaven Scattering Taoist was. Stage 10 of the holy level. Wu Song said directly. Hiss. Su Chen gasped. Although he knew that Heaven Scattering Taoist was powerful, he didn't expect him to be so powerful. Stage 10 of the holy level was second only to the divine realm. If he entered the void, wouldn't he be obliterated in an instant? Senior, in this case I can't enter the hollow? Su Chen asked in a low voice. Yes. Wu Song replied and then said, I will stop Heaven Scattering Taoist from killing you. But if he sends someone to kill you, I won't interfere. What on earth is this old guy up to? Su Chen found it more and more difficult to figure out Wu Song. One moment, he wanted to stop Heaven Scattering Taoist from killing him, and the next moment, he didn't interfere. Wasn't it contradictory? Senior, if Heaven Scattering Taoist sends someone at stage 8 or 9 of the holy level to kill me, I won't be able to survive, Su Chen said with a dignified look. At most, he can only send someone who is 2 levels higher than you to kill you. This is my order, and he dares not disobey it, Wu Song said with a smile. Since he could order Heaven Scattering Taoist, why didn't he just stop him from killing him? Why on earth did he do this? Su Chen was puzzled, but he knew that even if he asked, Wu Song wouldn't tell him. Seeing that Su Chen was silent, Wu Song continued. Su Chen, you must remember, ascend to deity realm as soon as possible. If Heaven Scattering Taoist promotes to the divine realm before you, I won't stop him, and I will even help him kill you. Help him kill me? Su Chen looked serious and then asked, Senior, how long does it take for Heaven Scattering Taoist to reach the divine realm? This was a matter of life and death. He had to be clear about this. It could be as short as a few hundred years, or as long as a few thousand years, Wu Song replied after thinking for a moment. Hearing this, Su Chen heaved a heavy sigh. To him, he didn't even need 10 years to advance to the deity realm. In this way, Heaven's loose Taoist would not be able to threaten him. At that time, the one who should be worried would be Heaven's loose Taoist. Senior, when will you give me the compensation? Su Chen took a deep breath and asked. You can wait in the deity continent. Someone will send it to you. Wu Song replied and then glanced at Su Chen. Seeing that Su Chen was calm, he asked curiously, Su Chen, aren't you worried at all? Su Chen was talented and his cultivation speed was extremely fast. However, it was extremely difficult for him to promote to the divine realm in 100 years. So, wasn't he worried that Heaven Scattering Taoist would promote to the divine realm before him? The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched as he said meaningfully, When that day comes, Senior will naturally understand. Wu Song was a little shocked. He said the same thing before, but he didn't expect Su Chen to play the same trick with him. Wu Song shook his head and said slowly, Since you are so confident, I won't ask anymore. If there is nothing else, I will leave. I hope you will be an expert of the divine realm when we meet next time. Senior, please. Suchin smiled faintly. Chapter 932. Wootsong didn't say anything else and disappeared from sight in the blink of an eye. Along with him, the surrounding darkness disappeared as well. Suchin also found himself back in the intelligent war chariot at this time. Master, you're awake? At this moment, the intelligent war chariot suddenly said. Suchin calmed down and asked, Satoshi, what happened to me just now? Master, you seem to have fallen asleep just now. The intelligent war chariot said truthfully. Suchin nodded. He didn't know what method Wootsong used to drag his soul into the endless darkness just now. He still had some lingering fears about this method. Satoshi, find a place to stop, Suchin ordered. Wootsong said that he would order someone to send the things over in 10 days. In the meantime, he would just wait here. Then he opened the Doomsday Shopping Center and looked at it. Since he had nothing to do, he was prepared to exchange for some things to increase the strength of the people around him. In the end, he left 100,000 energy points as a backup. The remaining energy points were all exchanged for various levels of Constitution Potion. Wu Yazi and Li Kuiyang, the two false saints, each received a bottle of level 12 Constitution Potion. Shang, Kai Li, and the other level 10 cultivators also received level 11 Constitution Potion. When they entered the void and consumed it, they would be promoted to the false saint level. As for Chun Feng and the others, because they hadn't reached level 10, they weren't restricted. After receiving the Constitution Potion, they directly consumed it and quickly leveled up. When their realm stabilized a little, Su Chun gave them Constitution Potion, again, raising their cultivation to level 10 in one fell swoop. As for the remaining people, Tan Lin and the others, because their foundation was too weak, they couldn't level up too quickly, so they only leveled up to level 8. During this period, in addition to helping everyone level up, Suchin also had a good time with Tan Lin and Yang Qian. They fought for several days in a row and completely released. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. At the agreed time, a god race man found Suchen's place. Suchun, I've brought the things. Come out. The god race man said to the intelligent war chariot. Seeing his expression clearly, he was very indignant. Suchin got out of the car, glanced at him, and said coldly, throw it over. The god race man did not hesitate. He took out a storage pouch from his waist and threw it to Suchin. Then he reminded him, I've given it to you. Hurry and leave our god race's mainland. Upon hearing this, Suchin narrowed his eyes. The other party was only a level 10 cultivator, yet he dared to speak to him in a commanding tone. Did he really think that he would not dare to kill him? Indeed, he had promised Wootsong. However, the prerequisite was that the other party did not provoke him. If you dare to speak to me in such a tone again, I'll kill you on the spot. A cold glint flashed across Suchen's eyes as he stared coldly at the god race man. The divine race male was slightly stunned for a moment, then laughed wildly and said, Suchun, you're crazy my ass. The Realm Lord has already said that you cannot attack us. Could it be that you dare to disobey the Realm Lord's words? You want to use the Sector Lord to suppress me? Suchun sneered. Just as he was about to make a move, suddenly, a giant hand came down from the sky and slammed heavily on the divine race male's body. With a loud bang, a huge handprint suddenly appeared in front of Suchun. The divine race male died on the spot without leaving any bones behind. At the same time, Suchin heard Wootsong's voice in his ear. This kind of thing will not happen in the future. I will warn them. Thank you, Senior, Suchin said lightly. Seeing that Wootsong did not reply, Suchin checked the items in the storage pouch. Chapter 933. Seeing that there were 20 mechanical hearts and 20 spirit gathering stones in the storage bag, as well as thousands of high-level energy stones, Suchen's lips curled up slightly. The intelligent war chariot needed 16 mechanical hearts to upgrade to level 12, which was the first stage of the holy level. As for the remaining 4, one was given to the mechanical soldier. The other 3 were left behind. When he found the remaining 3 holy level puppets, he would install them on them. 20 spirit gathering stones were enough to upgrade 2 heavenly fires to the level of holy fire. As for the energy stones, Su Chun threw them all into the planting dimension. The high-grade ones were installed on the time accelerator, and the low-grade ones were thrown into the spring of life to make spiritual liquid. Satoshi, is there a boundary point to enter the void nearby? Su Chun asked. Now that he had received the compensation, the next step was to explore the void. If there was a boundary point nearby, he could enter from here. If there wasn't, he could return to the demon continent and enter the void from there. The intelligent war chariot searched and replied, Master, there is a boundary point to enter the void nearby. Su Chun nodded. Then wait here. Then he opened the chaos dimension and contacted Wu Yazi. Senior, how many holy swords have you forged? If he could forge 100 holy swords as soon as possible, he planned to cultivate 100 swords into one before entering the void. A total of 57 swords, Wu Yazi replied. Su Chun was quite satisfied with this speed, so he asked, Senior, how long will it take to forge the remaining 47 swords? About 10 days. Wu Yazi thought for a moment and replied. Senior, continue forging. Su Chun replied, then called Tan Lin and Yang Qian out of the chaos dimension. He planned to cultivate 100 swords into one before entering the void. During this time, he could spend some time with Tan Lin and Yang Qian. 10 days later, Wu Yazi and the others successfully forged 100 holy swords. Su Chun spent 5 days to cultivate 100 swords into one. 100 lightning elemental holy swords combined into one. And the power that was unleashed was even greater than the fusion of ice and fire magic. It had become Su Chun's strongest killing move. With this trump card in hand, Su Chun did not waste time on the room. He ordered the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, enter the void. Yes. The intelligent war chariot activated the shuttling function and successfully entered the void through the weak point of the boundary point. After a moment of dizziness, Su Chun quickly looked out of the car. He saw specks of starlight in the distance, emitting a gorgeous color, giving people a feeling of magnificence. Nearby, there were some small meteorites floating around. From time to time, ripples would appear around the meteorite. Shockingly, they were all spatial turbulence. This also meant that in the vast and boundless void, while beautiful scenery existed, there were also dangers everywhere. Su Chun glanced at it and quickly retracted his gaze. After entering the void, he could increase his strength at will. He had to seize the time to increase his level first. Then he spent 30,000 energy points to exchange for a level 13 all attributes fragment and raised his cultivation to stage 2 sage. At the same time, he informed Wu Yazi and the others about entering the void and asked them to use the Constitution Potion to increase their level. The intelligent war chariot consumed 16 mechanical hearts and successfully leveled up to level 12. Su Chun also used 2 upgrade gems to upgrade the mechanical soldier to level 12 and installed a mechanical heart. Chapter 934. Satoshi, in your current form, can you withstand the void turbulence outside? Su Chun asked. He didn't know how long it would take to reach the void fortress. The biggest threat on the way was the void turbulence. Master, normal void turbulence can't hurt me, but I can't withstand the void turbulence that forms space cracks, the intelligent war chariot said honestly. Not bad. Su Chun nodded slightly. There wouldn't be many large-scale void turbulence in the void. Even if there were, they could just go around it. In this way, the threat of the void turbulence would be minimized. Satoshi, what's your detection range now? Su Chun continued to ask. 50,000 square kilometers, the intelligent war chariot said directly. When the intelligent war chariot was at level 10, its detection range was 10,000 square kilometers. At level 12, its detection range increased by 40,000 square kilometers. The increase was relatively large. If it was on the continent, this detection range would be enough. However, the void was too vast. A detection range of 50,000 square kilometers was a little insufficient. Su Chun pondered for a while and ordered, Satoshi, search the nearby area. It was his first time entering the void. The first thing he had to do was to check if there were any dangers nearby. Master, we found 2 spaceships. One is from the Alliance of 10,000 Races, And the other is from the Void Beasts, the intelligent war chariot immediately replied. Void Beasts? Suchen raised his eyebrows. The Void Beasts and the alliance of 10,000 races were mortal enemies. They would definitely kill each other when they met. As a member of the alliance of 10,000 races, he had the obligation to kill the Void Beasts. Moreover, killing the Void Beasts would give him Void Energy Stones. As for whether he would get fragments, it was hard to say. Satoshi observed them. What's their cultivation level? Suchen said. After all, this was the Void and not the continent. Even if he had reached the second stage of the Saint level, he couldn't be careless. Master, the highest level on the alliance of 10,000 races side is a level 10 cultivator. The rest are all below level 10. There are 5 level 10 cultivators among the Void Beasts. The rest are also below level 10, the intelligent war chariot replied. His level was so low. Suchen did not expect this. Initially, he thought that those who were traveling in the void would be at least at the sage level. Who would have thought that he would encounter so many people below level 10? Satoshi, lock onto them and chase after them, Suchen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot moved at full speed and chased after him. 10 minutes later, 2 spaceships, one white and one black, appeared in front of the intelligent chariot. Each spaceship was more than 20 meters long, and they seemed to be chasing each other. Satoshi, which spaceship belongs to the Void Beast? Suchen asked. Before making a move, he had to make sure that he didn't kill the wrong person. Master, the black one behind belongs to the Void Beast, the intelligent war chariot reminded. Suchen nodded, then opened the car door and rushed out. Now that he had reached the second stage of the Saint rank, his speed was much faster than the intelligent war chariot even if he didn't use the rapid combat boots. As soon as Suchen entered the void, he discovered that there were many spatial turbulences around him. However, they were all ordinary spatial turbulences. With his current physique of the second stage of the Saint rank, coupled with the ancient Godfiend body, he could directly ignore these spatial turbulences. Then he started to run. When he got close to the black spaceship, he raised his hand and threw out a Pegasus meteor punch. With a series of loud sounds, the black spaceship shattered, and all the void beasts inside were killed. He's a cultivator of the myriad races. He must be a sage-level expert. But he looks too young. Why is he so strong? The cultivators of the myriad races in the white spaceship were all extremely shocked when they saw Suchen blow up the spaceship of the void beast with one punch. Chapter 935. Suchen narrowed his eyes and glanced at the wreckage of the black spaceship. When he saw thousands of fragments, he couldn't help but smile. Fragments could be obtained from killing void beasts. It was too beneficial for him, because void beasts were the most abundant in the void. This way he could continue to hunt and quickly improve his cultivation. After collecting the fragments, Suchen's gaze drifted and landed on the white spaceship. He raised his voice and said, "Open the door. I have something to ask you." With a creak, the moment the door opened, a thin old man walked out and respectfully said to Suchen, "Senior, please come in." Not only did Suchen save them, but he was also a saint-level powerhouse. They didn't dare to neglect him. "Xiaoji, wait here," Wang Yao said. Suchen instructed and slowly walked into the white spaceship. In the spaceship, other than the thin elder, there were more than 10 people. At this moment, they were standing respectfully to the side, waiting for Suchen's questions. Suchen narrowed his eyes and asked indifferently, "Where are you from?" "Senior, we live on Lijiao Island," the thin elder hurriedly replied. There were some small pieces of land floating in the void. They were collectively called islands. Regardless of whether it was cultivators or void beasts, they could all live on them. "What's the cultivation of the strongest person on Lijiao Island?" Suchen continued to ask. "Stage 1 saint level." The thin elder replied truthfully. "So low?" Suchen didn't quite understand. How dangerous was the void? How could they survive with such a low cultivation? How many cultivators are there on Lijiao Island? Suchen asked. He suspected that there weren't many people on Lijiao Island, which was why they could survive until now. Otherwise, if there were too many people, they would have attracted the void beast's attention and been slaughtered. There are more than 1,000 people in total, the thin elder replied. Suchen frowned and looked at the skinny old man. He asked in confusion, "There are so many of you, but there is only one saint. How did you survive until now?" The skinny old man explained. "The resources near Lijiao Island are barren. In addition, there are more spatial turbulences, so very few people come here. Even the void beasts look down on them. However, for some reason, an army of void beasts attacked Lijiao Island today. How many void beasts are there?" Suchen was a little tempted. If the number of heavenly void beasts was high enough, then he could go ahead and exterminate them, taking advantage of the opportunity to harvest some fragments and heavenly void energy stones. There are about 1,000 of them, but there are 2 first-stage saint-level void beasts. The skinny old man sighed. When Lijiao Island was attacked, its destruction was inevitable. Without a safe place to stay, it was only a matter of time before they died. Therefore, he was in a very bad mood. Suchen thought of something and asked calmly, "How far is Lijiao Island from here?" If it was not too far, he planned to make a trip there. After all, there were 1,000 void beasts and 2 first-stage saint-level void beasts. If all of them were killed, the fragments that would burst out would not be a small amount. The skinny old man thought for a moment and replied, "About half a day." Suchen knew that the skinny old man was referring to taking their spaceship. If it was the intelligent war chariot, it would take at most 2 hours. 2 hours was worth a trip. "Follow me to Lijiao Island." Suchen pulled the skinny old man back to the intelligent war chariot, without any explanation. "Senior, are you really going to Lijiao Island?" the skinny old man asked tentatively. Suchen was undoubtedly a saint-level expert. If he returned to Lijiao Island, he might be able to save the cultivators there. But after all, there were 2 saint-level void beasts and 1,000 high-level void beasts. Could Suchen change the situation if he went alone? Would he be like a lamb in a tiger's den? Chapter 936. You just have to lead the way. Don't worry about anything else. Suchen said in an unquestionable tone. Yes. The skinny old man was shocked and replied with a trembling voice. Later, under his guidance, the intelligent war chariot drove straight in a direction. On the way, Suchen and the skinny old man talked about some things about Lijiao Island. Lijiao Island had existed for thousands of years. After so many years of reproduction, it had formed a new race. Old Xia, since the living conditions here are so difficult, why don't you return to the mainland? Suchen asked curiously. Old Xia was the skinny old man. His full name was Xia Tao. Living on the mainland, no matter what, they did not have to live in fear all day like in the void. Suchen did not understand this. Senior, it's not difficult to return to the mainland. You just have to pay some void energy stones or void energy stones. However, the cultivation resources on the mainland are limited after all. It's very difficult to improve one's cultivation. On the other hand, in the void, even in barren places, you can find some high-level cultivation resources. Cultivators like us pursue to improve our cultivation and become a saint-level powerhouse one day. Therefore, no one is willing to return to the mainland, Xiaotao explained. Suchen could understand this. If it were him, he would make the same choice. Let's take a rest first. It should take less than an hour to reach Lijiao Island, Suchen said and sat in the driver's seat. Then he started the chaos space and contacted Li Kuiyang and the others. After all, there were more than 1,000 void beasts on Lijiao Island. If he was alone, he could definitely kill all of them. However, the void beasts were not fools. If they realized that they were no match for them, they would definitely run away. This required the help of Li Kuiyang and the others. Suchen explained the situation and closed the chaos space. Anyway, they had not reached Lijiao Island yet. There was no need to rush to call them out. After the intelligent war chariot flew for more than an hour, Xiaotao reminded, Senior, there's a spatial turbulence in front. We need to go around it. Is it an ordinary spatial turbulence or a large-scale one? Suchen asked casually. If it was an ordinary one, there was no need to pay any attention to it. Ordinary spatial turbulence, but there are a lot of them. Xia Tao said without hesitation. Don't worry about it. Just go through it. Su Chen's tone was very calm. Pass through? Ignoring space turbulence? Xia Tao was dumbfounded. What kind of spaceship could ignore the spatial turbulence? He dared to pass through the spatial turbulence? Did he want to die? Xia Tao's heart was in a mess. However, since Su Chen had already said so, he did not dare to ask further. He could only brace himself and guide the intelligent war chariot. Soon, the intelligent war chariot entered the spatial turbulence and passed through it easily without suffering any damage from beginning to end. Seeing this, Xia Tao was even more surprised. Master, we've found traces of the void beast, the intelligent war chariot reminded. Then he projected the image onto the central control screen. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. He saw 2 saint-level void beasts attacking a saint level of the myriad races. From the looks of it, this saint level of the myriad races was at a complete disadvantage. He would probably not be able to hold on for long before he was killed. Satoshi, how long will it take to reach Lijiao Island? Su Chen asked. No need for 3 minutes. Su Chen nodded. If that saint level of the myriad races could hold on for 3 minutes, he would have a chance to survive. If he could not hold on, he could only be unlucky. Chapter 937. As time went by, the saint-level saint of the myriad races was in great danger. In the end, he was knocked to the ground, and one of his arms was blown off. Li Chuanqi, you want to go against us? Do you know how powerful we are this time? A saint-level void beast sneered and slowly walked toward Li Chuanqi. The other cultivators of the myriad races were disheartened when they saw that Li Chuanqi had been seriously injured. At this moment, the intelligent war chariot flew over Lijiao Island. Its appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention. This was the place where the cultivators of the myriad races and the void beasts were fighting. It was very strange that a silver spaceship suddenly appeared. Were the people in the spaceship not afraid of being affected and blown to pieces? Get out of here! A saint-level void beast glanced at the intelligent war chariot and shouted. He looked very arrogant. Su Chen opened the door and got out of the car. Xia Tao followed closely behind Su Chen. However, compared to Su Chen's calm expression, he was trembling all over, and his face was full of fear. Hey, it's a human! When the holy level void beast saw Su Chen's appearance, it first let out a soft cry of surprise, then it sneered. Boy, are you here to die? I'm here to kill you. Su Chen curled the corner of his mouth slightly, and instantly released his mind power. Kill me? The saint-level void beast was stunned for a moment, and then laughed wildly. Boy, UF** king. Unexpectedly, before he could finish speaking, an enormous and shapeless force suddenly surged over from all directions, and it firmly restrained him. Mind power. The saint-level void beast's face suddenly changed, and he hurriedly shouted to another saint-level void beast. He's a saint-level spirit reader. Come and help me. Xia Tao was stunned. He remembered clearly that Su Chen was a saint-level evolver. How did he become a saint-level spirit reader? At this moment, another saint-level void beast pounced on Su Chen fiercely. You're asking for death. Su Chen smiled contemptuously. First, he used his spiritual power to crush the holy level void beast, then threw a punch at the holy level void beast that was charging toward him. There was a loud explosion. The holy level void beast was instantly pulverized by a single punch. Witnessing the scene, the entire Lijiao Island fell into a suffocating silence. Whether it was the void beasts or the cultivators of the myriad races, they were all dumbfounded. Su Chen easily killed 2 holy level void beasts, and his powerful strength was fully displayed. Some people even realized that Su Chen might be a second-level Saint Realm expert. Moreover, he was a dual-profession second-level Saint Realm expert. He's actually this strong, Xia Tao murmured as he stared at Su Chen's back. As the 2 holy-level void beasts were killed one after another, the rest of the void beasts panicked. They looked at each other and fled from Lijiao Island. Su Chen directly opened the chaos space and the pet raising space. Li Kuiyang and the others, as well as the gold-devouring beetles and other spiritual pets, came out in a line and chased after the void beasts. Su Chen also joined the ranks of the pursuers. So many experts. Xia Tao was deeply shocked when he saw Su Chen summon so many experts at once. Xia Tao. At this moment, Li Chuanqi's voice rang in Xia Tao's ears. Island Master, are you all right? Xia Tao came back to his senses and jogged to Li Chuanqi's side. Xia Tao, who is this senior? Li Chuanqi looked at Su Chen and asked in a low voice. Chapter 938. He didn't tell me his name, and I didn't dare to ask. Xia Tao lowered his head and said, Then how did you meet him? Li Chuanqi continued to ask. Xia Tao then recounted his encounter with Su Chen in full detail. No matter what, he saved us. We have to thank him properly. Li Chuanqi muttered. It could be expected that if it weren't for Su Chen, Lijiao Island would have been destroyed today. Su Chen was definitely their savior. 10 minutes later, Su Chen led a group of experts to kill all the void beasts. After collecting the fragments, they dug out the void energy stones and returned. Senior, thank you for saving our lives. With Xia Tao's help, Li Chuanqi came to Su Chen's side and bowed to thank him. I didn't come here just to save you, Su Chen said calmly. If it weren't for the proximity and the fact that he could get fragments from killing the void beasts, he wouldn't have wasted his time here. No matter what, I still have to thank you. Although Su Chen said it casually, Li Chuanqi was still very respectful. Su Chen nodded slightly and continued to ask, Are there many void beasts around here? This is considered a barren land in the void. There are almost no void beasts around. The ones who attacked Lijiao Island were a group of wandering void beasts. They don't have a fixed place to stay and wander around the void. After discovering Lijiao Island, they wanted to snatch it, Li Chuanqi explained. I see. Su Chen mumbled and continued to ask, Have you heard of the Void Fortress? The Star Tournament would begin in less than half a year. The most important thing now was to head to the Void Fortress and meet up with Qi Mufeng. However, the communication pearl that Qi Mufeng gave him only had the function of guiding him. It didn't indicate the distance between them. In order to avoid messing things up, he felt that it was necessary to ask around. Void Fortress, Li Chuanqi pondered for a moment and probed. Senior, is the Void Fortress you mentioned the location of the Qi family, one of the top 10 clans? Exactly. Su Chen's eyes lit up. Since Li Chuanqi could name the Qi clan, he should know about the Void Fortress. Li Chuanqi took a deep breath and said, The Void Fortress is tens of thousands of miles away from here. If we take a spaceship, it will take at least a year even if we don't encounter any interception or spatial turbulence. 1 year? Su Chen's brows furrowed. A year later, the Starry Sky Grand Tournament would be over. By then, they wouldn't even be able to drink the soup. Even if they went there, it would be meaningless. However, he immediately recalled that Qi Mufeng had only entered the void a month earlier than him. Even if he had taken a flying ship, it would be impossible for him to rush back to the Qi family in half a year. This meant that there must be a shortcut. With that in mind, Su Chen asked, Is there a way to quickly reach the Void Fortress? Li Chuanqi replied, Senior, there are many places in the void occupied by the cultivators of the myriad races. In particular, some of the major forces have teleportation formations. However, I don't know which teleportation formations we have to go through to reach the Void Fortress. Teleportation formations could indeed greatly reduce time. No matter how far the distance was, as long as one used a teleportation formation, it wouldn't take much time. Su Chen could guess that Qi Mufeng must have used a teleportation formation to return to the Qi family. Where is there a teleportation formation nearby? Su Chen asked. There is a teleportation formation in the Flaming Leaf Forest, Li Chuanqi replied. Forest? Su Chen was puzzled. There is a forest in the void? Li Chuanqi explained. The Flaming Leaf Forest is located on a small broken continent. Because there is only one kind of plant that grows on it, it got its name. Chapter 939. Su Chen nodded. How far is the Flaming Leaf Forest from here? Since only the Flaming Leaf Forest had a teleportation array nearby, they could only go there first. If we take a spaceship, it will take about 5 days, Li Chuanqi replied. 5 days wasn't a short distance at all. Do you have a map of the nearby area? Su-chin asked. It was his first time entering the void, and he was unfamiliar with the surrounding environment. Without a map, it was impossible to reach the flaming leaf forest. Yes. Li Chuanqi quickly took out a map and handed it to Su-chin. Su-chin narrowed his eyes and quickly found the exact location of the flaming leaf forest on the map. Then he greeted Li Chuanqi and returned to the intelligent war chariot with the map. As for Li Qiren and the others and the puppets, they had already been stored in the chaos space and pet raising space. The first thing Su-chin did when he returned to the car was to place the map on the central control screen. After the intelligent war chariot finished scanning, Su-chin ordered, Satoshi, head to the flaming leaf forest immediately. Yes. The intelligent war chariot moved at full speed and left Lijiao Island in the blink of an eye. On the way, Su-chin sat in the driver's seat and began to sort out the fragments. This time he did not kill many void beasts, but he obtained more than 20,000 fragments. Su-chin spent nearly 2 hours sorting out the fragments and exchanged 4 bottles of Level 11 Constitution Potion in one go. He distributed them to the Flaming Phoenix and his 4 spiritual pets. As the gold-devouring beetles had swallowed a Saint Stage giant white ape, they had already advanced to the false Saint Stage and did not need it. Behind them, Su-chin picked up the map and slowly looked at it. Suddenly, a signal from the longevity fruit tree came from the planting space. Little longevity, what's going on? Su-chin opened the planting space and communicated with it. The longevity fruit tree said excitedly, Master, the tree of life has been resurrected. The tree of life had been resurrected. Su-chin was also extremely excited and quickly released his mental strength to extend it. Soon he saw a small sapling the size of a thumb growing beside the longevity fruit tree. It seemed unremarkable, and could even be said to be tiny. However, the life aura it exuded was extremely dense. Xiaoshou, how long will it take for the tree of life to grow? Su-chin asked. Right now the tree of life was still too weak. Only when it grew to a certain extent would it be able to produce life essence. With the life spirit fluid, he could revive the 5 thunder fruit tree and other spiritual plants. In addition, repairing the 5 elements heavenly dipper seal of the Vajra willow also required a branch of the tree of life. Those he had acquired before were of no use because of the withering. The longevity fruit tree pondered for a moment before replying. At this rate, it'll be fully grown in less than a year. A year's time was very fast for spirit plants with long growth cycles like demon plants and holy artifacts. Su-chin nodded and said a few more words before closing the plant dimension. Then he put away the map. Just as he was about to take a break, the intelligent war chariot suddenly reminded him. Master, you found 3 saint-level masters of all races nearby. Which races are they? What's their cultivation level? Su-chin asked casually. 2 from the Night Devil clan, and 1 from the Beast clan. They're all at stage 1 saint level. The intelligent war chariot quickly replied. The Beast clan? Su-chin raised his eyebrows. As far as he knew, there was only 1 saint level master in the Beast clan, and that was the ancestor of the Beast clan. He had met the ancestor twice, and he had cheated him of many things. Are they together? Su-chin continued to ask. He could let go of the ancestor of the Beast clan, but he did not intend to let go of the saint-level master of the Night Devil clan. Chapter 940. Not together. The saint-level beast tamers are being hunted by the saint-level night devils. The intelligent war chariot replied. Being hunted? Su-chin was taken aback. As far as he knew, the patriarch of the beast taming clan was very good at judging the situation. Under normal circumstances, he would choose to swallow his anger and not offend others easily. Then why was he being hunted? Satoshi, lock onto them and chase after them, Su-chin ordered. He had said that he would protect the beast tamers. Since they had bumped into each other, he would save his life. Also, he could take the opportunity to kill the 2 saint-level night devils. Yes. The intelligent war chariot started chasing at full speed. When they were less than a kilometer away, the swift bird suddenly warned. Master, I feel the presence of a thunder fire. After the swift bird had taken the Constitution potion, its cultivation had reached level 10. and its senses had greatly improved. In the past, it did not have such a range of senses. A thunder fire? Suchin was excited. He had personally experienced the power of a thunder fire because he had 2 of them. At this moment, he even thought that if he could combine the thunder fire magic with his ice and fire magic, with the help of 3 thunder fires, its power would definitely destroy the world. Xiao Sun, what kind of thunder fire is that? Who has it? Suchin asked. Thunder fire was something that could only be found by chance. Since he had encountered it, he had to get it. It's called the 9-spirit thunder fire. It's on the saint-level beast tamers, the swift bird replied. Suchin nodded slightly. At this moment, he understood why the beast tamers were being hunted. It must be because of the 9-spirit thunder fire. There were very few thunder fires in the world. No matter who it was, they would fight for it. In less than a minute, the intelligent war chariot arrived in front of the 3 saint-level beast tamers. The 3 saint-level beast tamers, who were in the middle of a fight, also stopped and looked at the intelligent war chariot cautiously. They were all saint-level experts, but the intelligent war chariot dared to barge in. It must have come with ill intentions, and it had to attract their attention. The patriarch of the beast-taming clan glanced at the intelligent war chariot and thought to himself, could it be Suchin? When he was on the mainland, he had seen the intelligent war chariot. But now the intelligent war chariot was in the form of a spaceship. Its appearance was different from its flying form. Therefore, he couldn't be 100% sure. Old you, are you being hunted? Didn't I say I would protect you? You didn't mention my name? Suchin got out of the car and looked at the grand ancestor of the beast tamers with a faint smile. Suchin, it's really you. The patriarch of the beast tamer clan was pleasantly surprised. If it was in the past, he would definitely not want to see Suchin. After all, he would be tricked every time he saw him. However, things were different now. He was being chased into a corner by 2 night demon saints. Suchin's appearance was undoubtedly a savior. When the 2 night demon saints heard Suchin's name, their faces turned extremely serious. Although they rarely returned to the mainland, they had heard of Suchin's name. It was rumored that a few days ago, if it weren't for the Realm Lord's personal intervention, Suchin would have eliminated the 5 super clans. Only the Realm Lord's personal intervention could stop Suchin's massacre. It could be seen how terrifying Suchin was. Moreover, they also knew that the Night Demon clan and Suchin had a deep grudge. Would Suchin take the opportunity to attack them? The 2 of them suddenly felt uneasy. Chapter 941. Suchin, they are trying to kill me. Save me. The ancestral patriarch of the beast-taming race yelled at Suchin. Suchin narrowed his eyes and stared at the 2 saints of the Night Demon clan coldly. Even though he didn't say anything, the 2 of them felt extremely pressured. One of the saints of the Night Demon clan suddenly thought of something. His fear disappeared and he started to laugh wildly. Aha. Suchin, this is the void, not the continent. Do you still want to show off? On the continent, their power would be suppressed to level 10. They wouldn't be Suchin's match at all. But in the void, their power wouldn't be suppressed. Rumor had it that Suchin was only a level 10 cultivator. So what if he was stronger than his peers? How could he be a match for a level 1 saint? Hearing this, the ancestral patriarch of the beast-taming race's face turned pale. He only knew that Suchin was powerful, but he had completely forgotten where he was. In the void, how could Suchin be a match for 2 saint-level experts? You think so? Suchin curled his lips and sneered. Then he released his soul energy and tied up the saint of the Night Demon clan who was talking. You're a saint too? How is that possible? The saint of the Night Demon clan yelled in shock. Suchin's spiritual force was able to bind him to the point that he couldn't move. This meant that Suchin was definitely a saint rank, and most likely a 2nd level saint rank or above. But wasn't Suchin only level 10 when he was on the continent? Why did he level up so many times as soon as he entered the void? What he didn't know was that Suchin had already become a level 1 saint in the country of zombies on the continent. He just didn't have the chance to show it, so he was mistaken as a level 10 cultivator. Suchin has become a saint. The ancestral patriarch of the beast-taming race murmured in shock. There are many things you don't know. Su Chen pulled the saint of the Night Demon clan closer with his soul energy, and threw a punch. There was a loud explosion. The Night Demon saint was blasted to pieces, and turned into a bloody mist. Level 2 Saint level. Witnessing this scene, the patriarch of the Beast Tamer clan was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. The Night Devil clan's fleshly body defensive power was absolutely one of the best among the myriad of clans. For Su Chen to be able to blast him apart with a single punch, he was definitely a level 2 saint. The great ancestor of the beast taming clan clearly remembered that when he first met Su Chen was only at level 7. In just 2 short years, Su Chen had already grown to this point, becoming a second-level Saint Realm super powerhouse. His cultivation speed was so fast that it was terrifying to the extreme. When the other Night Demon clan Saint class realized that Su Chen was a second-stage Saint class existence, he was scared out of his wits and trembled all over. When Su Chen's eyes fell on him, his heart skipped a beat and he yelled, "Su Chen, we are all cultivators of the myriad clans. You can't kill me. If you kill me, the Realm Lord will not let you go." He knew that Su Chen would not let him go. If he wanted to live, he had to use the Realm Lord to suppress Su Chen. "You want to use Old Wu to suppress me?" Su Chen snorted softly, raised his hand and threw out a Pegasus meteor punch, and easily killed him. His agreement with Wutsong was that he was not allowed to kill indiscriminately on the continent, but there was no such restriction in the void. "Come with me, Old Yu." After collecting the fragments, Su Chen called out to the ancestral patriarch of the beast-taming clan, and returned to the intelligent chariot. Without any hesitation, the ancestral patriarch of the beast-taming clan followed Su Chen obediently. Chapter 942. Old Yu, why are the 2 night demons after you? Su Chen asked calmly. "I have a grudge with one of the night demons. When we met in the void, they wanted to kill me because they outnumbered me," the ancestor of the beast-taming tribe said without hesitation. Su Chen looked at the old ancestor of the beast-taming clan in a daze and thought to himself, "This old man can lie without blushing at all. He's lying so easily." He was sure that the night demons were after the exotic flame on the ancestor of the beast-taming tribe. That was the reason why he had come here. Since the ancestor of the beast-taming tribe refused to tell him the truth, he had to think of another way. "Su Chen, why are you in the void?" the ancestor of the beast-taming tribe asked at this moment. Hearing this, Su Chen had an idea. He pretended to be very angry and said coldly, "I recently got a thunder strange fire, but I accidentally let it escape. Now I'm looking for it everywhere." "Thunder exotic flame?" The ancestor of the beast-taming tribe opened his mouth slightly. He felt that something was wrong. Su Chen snorted and continued, "If I find out who took my exotic flame, I'll cut him into pieces. I'll slaughter his entire tribe. Even the sector lord can't stop me." Gulp. The ancestor of the beast-taming tribe swallowed hard. He finally realized what was going on. Su Chen must have known that he had the 9-spirit thunder flame, and his purpose was to snatch it. He said that to threaten the ancestor of the beast-taming tribe to make him hand it over. Shameless. The ancestor of the beast-taming tribe was furious, but he didn't dare to show it. Instead, he said with a smile, "I happen to find an exotic flame. See if it's yours." He took out the 9 spiritual thunder flame from a spiritual beast pouch as he spoke. The 9-spirit lightning flame was covered in blue flames. It was only the size of a palm and looked similar to the bone-cold netherworld flame. It also looked like a small animal and was very cute. "This is it." Su Chen grabbed the 9-spirit lightning flame in his hand and flicked its forehead. He scolded, "If you dare to run around again, I'll break your dog legs." The 9-spirit lightning flame was stunned. "This is the first time we've met, okay? When have I ever escaped from your hands?" Su Chen did not give it a chance to speak and threw it into the pet-raising space. He had the bone-chill netherworld flame and the 8-waste destruction flame watch over it. After that, he looked at the patriarch of the beast-tamer clan and said gratefully, "Old Yu, thank you so much." "You're welcome." The ancestor of the beast-tamer clan forced a smile on his face. Su Chen cleared his throat and said, "You helped me find the heavenly flame, and I saved your life. We're even now." You took a heavenly flame from me for free. Are we even now? The grand ancestor of the beast tamer clan felt indignant. However, thinking that if Suchin didn't appear in time this time, he would really be in danger, and his heart was relieved a lot. Old you, where do you plan to go? Suchin asked. He was in a hurry to go to the Flaming Leaf Forest, and did not want to talk to the ancestor of the beast tamer clan. The void is too dangerous. I plan to return to the beast tamer continent, the ancestor of the beast tamer clan replied. Suchin nodded and opened the car door. Then I won't waste your time. The ancestor of the beast tamer clan was stunned. Was Suchin asking him to leave? He had just taken a heavenly flame, and now he was turning his back on him? Wasn't that too heartless? The ancestor of the beast tamer clan clicked his tongue, and found an excuse for himself. I'm in a hurry to go back. Goodbye. With that, he got out of the car. The moment he got out of the car, the intelligent war chariot picked up speed and disappeared into the vast universe in the blink of an eye. Chapter 943. After separating from the beast-taming tribe's patriarch, Suchin opened the pet breeding space and took out the 9-spirit thunderflame. Master, I'm willing to submit to you. Before Suchin could speak, the 9-spirit thunderflame spoke first. The 9-spirit thunderflame being so tactful was out of Suchin's expectations. Actually, Suchin didn't know that the bone-chill netherflame had already given the 9-spirit thunderflame a lesson in the pet breeding space, analyzing the pros and cons. This made the 9-spirit lightning flame understand that there were only benefits and no disadvantages to following Suchin. Even if the 9-spirit thunderflame was tactful, Suchin still had to follow the procedure. After a while, he gave the 9-spirit thunderflame a pet potion and successfully subdued it. Little thunderflame, what level is your mystical flame now? Suchin asked. Master, I'm now a level 8 mystical flame. The 9-spirit thunderflame replied respectfully. A little low. Suchin muttered. The bone-chill nether flame and the 8 waste destruction flame had already reached the level of holy flames, but the 9-spirit thunderflame was only at level 8. There was a difference of 4 levels. If he fused the lightning spell, ice spell, and fire spell together, the 3 mystical flames wouldn't be able to adhere to it. After all, the difference in levels was too big to achieve a balance. Without the support of the mystical flames, even if the 3 spells fused together, the power would be greatly reduced. This was something Suchin didn't want to see. However, he didn't have any more spirit gathering stones, so he couldn't help the 9-spirit thunderflame level up for now. Looks like I have to find a way to get some spirit gathering stones. Suchin muttered and sent the 9-spirit thunderflame into the pet breeding space. Then he sat in the driver's seat and closed his eyes to rest. A day later, a fiery red island appeared in front of the intelligent war chariot. According to the markings on the map, this was the Flaming Leaf Forest. The intelligent war chariot slowly flew over. When it approached, Suchin discovered that the island was densely covered with plants with fiery red leaves. Therefore, from a distance, it appeared to be fiery red. In addition, Suchin also discovered that there was an energy barrier surrounding the Flaming Leaves Forest. There was only one entrance in front. At this moment, there were spaceships flying in and out of there. Suchin glanced at it, then withdrew his gaze and ordered the intelligent chariot to fly over. At the entrance of the passage, Suchin was finally allowed to enter after a series of interrogations and inspections, as well as paying 100 void stones. The teleportation array was located in a tall stone tower, only 1 mile away from the entrance. Suchin put away the intelligent war chariot, and quickly came to the stone tower under the guidance of a guard. A single teleportation requires 500 void stones. At the entrance of the stone tower stood a one-eyed old man, who glanced at Suchin and said in a cold voice. Suchin didn't care. After paying 500 void stones, he turned to the one-eyed old man and asked, Uncle, where does this teleportation array lead to? When he was on Lijiao Island, he left in a hurry and didn't ask Li Chuanqi for details. He only knew that there was a teleportation array in the Flaming Leaves Forest, but he didn't know where it led to. You don't know? The one-eyed old man exclaimed softly. He dared to teleport without knowing where the teleportation array led to? It was the first time he saw someone like Su Chen. It leads to Skylight City. The one-eyed old man shook his head and replied. Skylight City. Su Chen pondered for a moment, then asked, Uncle, is there a teleportation array from Skylight City to the Void Fortress? There is no direct teleportation array to the Void Fortress, but it can reach Maguang City. Maguang City is not far from the Void Fortress. The one-eyed old man thought for a moment and replied. Chapter 944. Thank you, Uncle. Su Chen made up his mind and walked straight into the stone tower. Unexpectedly, before he could enter the stone tower, he saw a guard rushing over in a hurry. When he got close, he whispered something in the one-eyed old man's ear. Hearing this, the one-eyed old man frowned slightly and nodded to the guard. He turned to look at Su Chen and said a little embarrassedly, Little brother, there's a problem with the teleportation array. It can't be used today. What a coincidence. There's a problem with the teleportation portal when it's my turn? Su Chen didn't quite believe this excuse. He said coldly, What's wrong with the teleportation portal? How many days will it take before it can be used? I don't know exactly what the problem is, or how many days it will take before it can be used. The news came from the island master. The one-eyed old man said apologetically. Su Chen pondered for a moment and said, Take me to your island master. Kid, who do you think you are? Do you think you can meet the island master just because you want to? The guard next to him scolded with disdain. Su Chen squinted his eyes slowly. A huge pressure spread out and forced the one-eyed old man and the guard to retreat. Senior, please calm down. The one-eyed old man was shocked. He was only a level 10 cultivator. Under Su Chen's pressure, his breathing almost stopped. The guard was even worse. He was trembling all over, and had already prostrated himself on the ground. Take me to see your island master, or die. Su Chen shouted coldly. He was in a hurry to get to the Void Fortress. Even if the teleportation portal here couldn't be used, he had to find out the reason. He couldn't just wait like this. Friend, don't be angry. Suddenly, a dignified voice drifted over from afar. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around, only to see an old man with fiery red hair flying over. Judging from the aura that the other party was emitting, he was a stage 1 sage. Are you the island master here? Su Chen stared at him and asked coldly. This old man is Feng Qishan, the island master of the Flaming Leaf Forest. How should I address you, friend? Feng Qishan's words were still relatively polite, because he could sense that Su Chen was definitely a saint stage expert. In the face of a saint-level existence, he did not have the slightest bit of strength. You don't need to know who I am. You just need to tell me why the teleportation array cannot be used, Su Chen said coolly. From his expression, it was as if he didn't care about Feng Qishan at all. Actually, he had his own reasons for not telling him. If Heaven-Scattering Taoist knew his whereabouts, he would definitely send someone to deal with him. Before the grand competition of Starry Sky, he did not want his disciple to cause trouble. As soon as Su Chen said this, the one-eyed old man was stunned. Feng Qishan was a stage 1 sage, but Su Chen did not give him any face at all. Wasn't this a little too arrogant? Feng Qishan frowned and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He sized up Su Chen and snorted. We don't need an outsider to interfere with the matters of the Flaming Leaf Forest. After saying that, he gave the one-eyed old man a look. Chen Shua, returned the void energy stone to him. Su Chen's attitude made him very unhappy, so he did not plan to be nice to Su Chen. Without saying anything, Chen Shua took out the void energy stone and handed it to Su Chen. He said respectfully, Senior, here's your item. Su Chen did not take it. Instead, he looked at Feng Qishan and pursed his lips. Old Feng, I have a bad temper. You'd better give me a clear explanation. Otherwise, you will suffer. Chapter 945. Are you threatening me? Feng Qishan's eyes turned cold, and his body was surrounded by a murderous aura. Although he couldn't see through Su Chen, he wasn't afraid of him since he was a sage. If Su Chen didn't know what was good for him, he would teach him a lesson. You can think of it that way, But let me give you a piece of advice. Don't fight me. Su Chen admitted it generously, and then reminded him. His tone was calm, but the meaning behind his words was extremely arrogant. Fang Qishan took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. He said coldly, "Leave now, or don't blame me for being rude." "Come on, I'll wait," Su Chen said calmly. He knew that if he didn't teach Fang Qishan a lesson, Fang Qishan wouldn't tell him the truth. Arrogant. Fang Qishan couldn't suppress the anger in his heart anymore. He reached out his hand and grabbed at Su Chen. Although he was extremely angry, he still had a sense of propriety when he attacked. He only wanted to capture Su Chen, and he didn't have any intention of killing Su Chen. Su Chen turned a blind eye to this and stood motionless in the same place, allowing the hand to grab him. Is he scared out of his wits? Seeing this, Chen Shuo felt extremely strange. Su Chen didn't dodge or counterattack. Why was he doing this? Fang Qishan also felt a little surprised, but he didn't think too much about it. He directly grabbed at Su Chen's chest. Unexpectedly, when he touched Su Chen, he was repelled by a strange force. What's going on? Before Fang Qishan could react, he felt an invisible force coming from all around him. It immediately suppressed his movements and slowed him down. What a strong mental strength. Fang Qishan was shocked. He was about to use other means to break free. However, he saw Su Chen reach out and pat him on the shoulder. Immediately, he felt as if a huge mountain was pressing on his body. He was pressed to the ground without any resistance. There was a rumbling sound. Fang Qishan was lying on the ground. Countless cracks had appeared on the ground around him, and they looked like spiderwebs. Witnessing this inconceivable scene, Chen Shuo's entire expression became sluggish. How could a first-level saint-level expert be defeated so easily? Just how strong was this young human before him? Second or third-level saint-level. After Su Chen suppressed Fang Qishan, he didn't make any further moves. Instead, he retracted his mind power. His original intention was to find out why the teleportation formation could not be used. He had no intention of killing Fang Qishan. When Fang Qishan felt the invisible force disappear from his body, he quickly got up from the ground. At this moment, his face was completely red, and he wanted nothing more than to find a hole to hide in. Facing Su Chen, he was momentarily at a loss of what to do. "Old Fang, can you explain it to me now?" Su Chen said calmly. "Senior, Tianguang City has been surrounded by heavenly void beasts, and the teleportation formation has been shut down. Therefore, we are unable to teleport," Fang Qishan replied respectfully. After witnessing Su Chen's strength, he didn't dare to hide anything. Surrounded by heavenly void beasts? Su Chen frowned slightly. After pondering for a while, he asked, "According to you, if the heavenly void beasts don't retreat, the teleportation formation won't be activated?" "Yes." Fang Qishan nodded. "How long will this last?" Su Chen asked. If it took too long, he would have to think of other ways to get to the heavenly void fortress. Fang Qishan thought for a while before replying, "This is not certain. Sometimes it will be a few months. Sometimes it will be a few years." Chapter 946. Su Chen didn't want to wait for a few days, let alone a few months, or even a few years. After thinking for a while, he asked, "Is there a transmission formation that leads to the void fortress nearby?" Fang Qishan shook his head, but he seemed to have thought of something and hesitated to speak. "Old Fang, just say it." Su Chen was keenly aware of the change in Fang Qishan's expression, so he asked, "There is a transmission formation in the Luoyan ruins that leads to Blacktooth City, and Blacktooth City is only a dozen days away from the Void Fortress." Fang Qishan replied, "Since there is a transmission formation, why didn't you say so earlier?" Su Chen felt a little strange. Fang Qishan smiled bitterly, because the Luoyan ruins and Blacktooth City are under the control of the Void Beast. So that's the case. Su Chen suddenly understood, and then asked, "What is the level of the strongest in the Luoyan ruins and Blacktooth City?" It was imperative to go to the Void Fortress, and he couldn't waste any time. If the level of the Void Beast in the Luoyan ruins was not high, he could directly kill it and enter Blacktooth City through the transmission formation there. Of course, the level of the void beast in Blacktooth City couldn't be too high, or else it would be like a sheep entering a tiger's den. There are only 5 void beasts in the Luoyan ruins, but they are all Saint rank powerhouses, and the most powerful one is a 2nd stage Saint rank. The powerhouse in Blacktooth City is even more powerful, reaching the 4th stage of the Saint rank. Feng Qishan said with a serious expression. From Su Chen's tone, it seemed that he wanted to force his way in. He was now a little worried that Su Chen would let him lead the way. So he quickly explained the strength of the void beast in the Luoyan ruins and Blacktooth City to make Su Chen give up. Su Chen pondered. With his current strength, killing the void beast in the Luoyan ruins was not difficult. Entering Blacktooth City and killing his way out was also not a big problem. But if he did that, he would make too much noise, and his whereabouts would be exposed. The heaven-scattering Taoist would definitely send people to kill him, and he would inevitably encounter trouble. After pondering for a long time, Su Chen decided to go to the Luoyan ruins. Because time waits for no one. Old Feng, follow me to the Luoyan ruins, Su Chen said with an unquestionable tone. The reason why he wanted to bring him along was firstly to lead the way, and secondly, to prevent Feng Qishan from deceiving him again. Feng Qishan was stunned. He really didn't understand why Su Chen was so obstinate when he had already made it so clear. Were they not afraid of death? Indeed, Su Chen was very strong. He was probably a 2nd level Saint rank. However, the Luoyan ruins also had a 2nd level Saint rank and 4 1st level Saint rank. How could Su Chen be their opponent? What's more, the Blacktooth City had a 4th stage Saint rank void beast guarding it. Wouldn't teleporting there be suicidal? Old Feng, if you do this well, not only will I not make things difficult for you, I will even give you some benefits. But if you don't agree, I'm afraid I'll slaughter everyone in the Flaming Leaf Forest. When Su Chen saw that Feng Qishan was a little hesitant, a sharp glint flashed across his eyes as he threatened him. Feng Qishan was shocked. If Su Chen really wanted to start a massacre, no one in the Flaming Leaf Forest could stop him. He didn't want to see the place that he had worked so hard to build be slaughtered. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, I agree. A wise man submits to circumstances. Old Feng, you're very good. Su Chen praised him, then took out the intelligent chariot and stepped into it. After entering the chariot, he said to Feng Qishan, Old Feng, hurry up. Feng Qishan said a few words to Chen Shua, then turned and entered the intelligent chariot. Chapter 947. After that, under Feng Qishan's guidance, the intelligent war chariot flew straight to the Luoyan ruins. On the way, Su Chen asked, Why are there only 5 void beasts in the Luoyan ruins? Logically speaking, 5 saint-level void beasts should have a large number of subordinates. This situation where there were only 5 of them was very abnormal. There are rumors that they were expelled by the void beasts. The void beasts did not allow them to gather their clansmen. However, whether this is the case or not is not certain. Feng Qishan thought for a moment and explained. Su Chen did not think too much. No matter what the situation was, there were only 5 of them anyway. It was fine to kill them. 3 days later, the intelligent war chariot arrived in front of the Luoyan ruins. The Luoyan ruins itself was not very big. It looked like a small piece of broken land. There were piles of rocks inside, and it looked very messy. Senior, this is the Luoyan ruins. Feng Qishan reminded. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. He said indifferently, Let's go and find those 5 void beasts first. I have to go in too? Feng Qishan's expression became abnormally ugly. Previously, Su Chen only asked him to lead the way. He did not say that he had to enter the Luoyan ruins. This was the territory of 5 saint-level void beasts. If he barged in rashly, would he still be alive? Old Feng, you can't move your feet? Do you want me to help you? Su Chen's voice was a little cold. He had already made up his mind. Not only would he bring Feng Qishan into the Luoyan ruins, but he would also go to Blacktooth City together. Before confirming the truth of Feng Qishan's words, how could he let him escape? Senior, I'm coming. Feng Qishan gritted his teeth and followed behind Su Chen. He was a little afraid. If he did not agree, would he be killed by Su Chen on the spot? As soon as the two of them entered the Luoyan ruins, they had not walked far when the swift bird's signal came from the pet breeding space. Master, I feel that danger is approaching you. Su Chen knew that their whereabouts must have been discovered by the saint-level void beasts here. However, he was originally looking for the other party, so he didn't mind. Soon, 5 tall figures arrived in front of Su Chen and Fang Qishan. They spread out and surrounded the two of them. Senior, we're surrounded. What should we do? Fang Qishan's face turned pale. With his strength, he could at most contend with a first-level saint-rank void beast. If he faced 2, he would be killed in a few moves. Could Su Chen deal with 4 of them by himself? Just kill them all. What else can we do? Su Chen said calmly. Kill them all? Fang Qishan clicked his tongue. The arrogance of Su Chen's tone had simply reached the point of insanity. 5 holy-level void beasts weren't ants. How could they be killed so easily? Haha. When the second-level saint-rank void beast saw Fang Qishan, it laughed wildly and said, Fang Qishan, you usually hide in the Flaming Leaves forest and we can't do anything to you. Today, you've taken the initiative to come to us. This is really unexpected. We're just here to borrow the teleportation formation. We don't have any other intentions. Fang Qishan laughed bitterly. Borrow the teleportation formation? The 5 heavenly void beasts looked at each other and burst into laughter. The cultivators of the 10,000 races and the void beasts were mortal enemies. Fang Qishan actually came to their territory to borrow the teleportation formation. This was simply ridiculous. At this moment, they even thought that Fang Qishan's brain was damaged. Not only do we want to borrow the teleportation formation, but we also want to take the opportunity to kill you. Su Chen's lips curled into a playful smile as he added. Chapter 948. Kill us. The 5 void beasts were slightly taken aback. When they saw that the person who spoke was a young human, the 5 of them became extremely furious. A mere human cultivator, a lowly race among the thousands of races, dared to threaten to kill them? This was even worse than Fang Qishan's illness. At this moment, they made up their minds that they must make Su Chen, this arrogant bastard, suffer thousands of torments before he dies. Only then would they be able to vent their anger. Brat, I will make you regret living in this world. A first-stage sage-level void beast roared and smashed its fist toward Su Chen. Before the fist arrived, a strong gust of wind swept toward Su Chen, causing Su Chen's clothes to flutter. They attacked. Fang Qishan's heart thumped violently. The other party had already attacked. What should he do? However, at this moment, a shrill scream suddenly sounded. Su Chen grabbed the void beast's fist and clenched it, crushing it into meat paste. What terrifying strength! Fang Qishan was shocked. One had to know that the physical strength of the void beast was stronger than that of the Night Demon clan. However, Su Chen could crush it easily. It was obvious how powerful he was. At the same time that Su Chen crushed the void beast's fist, he threw out a punch and hit the void beast's head. Bang! The void beast's head exploded, and it died on the spot. He killed a first-stage sage-level void beast so easily? Fang Qishan widened his eyes in shock. He knew that Su Chen was a second-stage sage-level. However, it shouldn't be so easy for a second-stage sage-level void beast to kill a first-stage sage-level void beast, right? What was the difference between this and crushing an ant? Was Su Chen too powerful? Or was the void beast too weak? Fang Qishan's mind was buzzing. He is a second-stage sage-level expert. Let's attack together. The second-level saint-rank void beast was shocked. It roared and led the other 3 first-level saint-rank void beasts to surround Su Chen. Su Chen's strength had far exceeded his expectations. It made him deeply realize that if they wanted to kill Su Chen, they would only have a chance if they attacked together. When Fang Qishan saw this, he struggled intensely in his heart. In the end, he made the decision to fight alongside Su Chen. Because once Su Chen was defeated and killed, only death would await him. However, before he could make a move, a pitch-black saber suddenly appeared in Su Chen's hand. Then Su Chen swept out with his saber. Suddenly, a blue torrent emitting a violent aura of thunder and lightning rushed out. The 4 holy-level void beasts were reduced to charred corpses upon contact, and they died on the spot. He killed 4 void beasts in one strike. Fang Qishan was dumbfounded. The impact of Su Chen's strength on him was unprecedented. Before he came, he had already prepared himself for the worst. He even thought that he would not be able to leave this place alive. He did not expect that 5 holy level void beasts would be so weak before Su Chen. Moreover, judging from Su Chen's casual manner, he did not seem to have used any strength at all. If he was already so powerful without using any strength, how powerful would he be if he used his killing move? Fang Qishan was indescribably shocked. He could not regain his senses for a long time. Su Chen dug out the void energy stones from the 5 holy level void beasts. After collecting the fragments, he noticed that Fang Qishan was still in a daze. He reminded him, "Old Fang, don't just stand there. Come with me." Ha! Fang Qishan regained his senses and followed behind Su Chen. After witnessing Su Chen's unparalleled prowess, he became even more respectful. Chapter 949. Su Chen and Fang Qishan searched the Wild Goose ruins for a while, and soon found the teleportation array. "Old Fang, let's enter the teleportation array." Su Chen glanced at the teleportation array, and said to Fang Qishan beside him, "Senior, I have to go too?" Fang Qishan's face changed, and the corners of his mouth trembled. The other side of the teleportation array was Black Tooth City, the territory of the Void Beasts, and there was a level 4 saint-level Void Beast guarding it. It was fine if Su Chen wanted to die, but he didn't want to die with him. "Of course you have to go. If you don't go, how will I know if the teleportation array is real or fake?" Su Chen said matter-of-factly, "Senior, the other side of the teleportation array is definitely Black Tooth City, I can swear." Fang Qishan promised. Once he entered Black Tooth City, he would definitely die. He didn't want to go at all. "Don't worry, with me here you won't die. If those void beasts dare to cause trouble, I don't mind slaughtering them all," Su Chen said lightly. With his current strength, dealing with a level 4 saint-level void beast was not a problem. And after the golden puppet combined with the other 2 saint-level puppets, its cultivation would soar to level 3 saint-level. It was not impossible for the 2 of them to join forces and slaughter Black Tooth City. Of course, his main purpose was to go to the Void Fortress. If the void beasts of Black Tooth City were sensible, he would restrain himself a little. Slaughter Black Tooth City. Fang Qishan swallowed his saliva with difficulty. His heart was in his throat. He admitted that Su Chen was strong, but no matter how strong he was only level 2 saint level. It was possible for him to kill someone of the same level, or even defeat a level 3 saint level, but it was definitely impossible for him to deal with a level 4 saint level. After all, there was a difference of 2 levels, and the combat power of void beasts was far beyond the practitioners of the 10,000 races. How could Su Chen fight a level 4 saint level void beast head-on? He even wanted to slaughter Black Tooth City. He was simply boasting shamelessly. Of course, he only dared to criticize these thoughts in his heart. He absolutely did not dare to say it out loud. "Senior, why don't you think about it again?" Fang Qishan persuaded. Dilly-dallying like a woman. Su Chen was getting impatient. He released his mental strength and threw Fang Qishan into the teleportation array. Then he also entered in a flash. Then he used his mental power to press the button to activate the teleportation. "It's over." When Fang Qishan saw that this was unavoidable, he could not help but lament in his heart. After a moment of dizziness, Su Chen and Bai Yunfei appeared in a large black hall. "Cultivators of the myriad races, why are you here?" Suddenly, an angry voice entered Su Chen's ears. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked around, only to see hundreds of void beasts gathered in the hall. Their auras were exceptionally powerful, and the strongest one had reached the 2nd stage of the saint rank. "I'm just passing through. I don't mean anything else," Su Chen replied casually, and slowly walked down the teleportation array. Fang Qishan hesitated for a moment before gritting his teeth, and following closely behind Su Chen. "Passing through?" The group of void beasts was stunned for a moment. Then they laughed maniacally. "Kid, do you know where this is? You're here to die, aren't you?" A void beast at the 1st level of the saint rank stared at Su Chen with a mocking expression. Su Chen curled his lips and smiled contemptuously. You're just a group of ants. If you know what's good for you, scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing. As soon as he said this, the surroundings fell silent for a moment. All of the void beasts looked at Su Chen with a strange look in their eyes. At this moment, they were somewhat suspicious. Was this young human's brain damaged? He was in Blacktooth City and was surrounded by many strong people. Yet he still dared to be so unscrupulous and talk nonsense. Was he really tired of living? Was he here to find excitement? Chapter 950. Feng Qishan was scared out of his wits. Listening to Su Chen's tone, not only was he not afraid, he even seemed to be provoking. Who gave him the courage? Challenging the entire Blacktooth City by himself. Even a 5th stage Saint rank would not dare to be so arrogant, right? Boy, you've successfully angered me. I'll skin you alive and make you regret living in this world. The 1st stage Saint rank void beast who spoke just now rushed to Su Chen with a ferocious expression and grabbed at Su Chen. The other void beasts did not intervene, but stood in place to watch the show. In their opinion, a 1st stage Saint rank clansman was enough. After all, Su Chen was just a weak human, and he looked so young. He could not be that powerful. You're overestimating yourself. Su Chen snorted softly and punched out with his fist. Bang! The 1st level Saint rank void beast suffered a violent blow, and its entire body was torn into pieces, turning into a pile of minced meat. Hiss! Witnessing this scene, the whole hall was filled with gasps. From the beginning to now, they had never thought that a 1st stage Saint rank clansman would be killed by a young human, and it was done in a second with a punch. At this moment, they clearly recognized Su Chen's strength. He's a 2nd stage Saint rank existence. One of the void beasts roared in shock. The other void beasts were shocked. Su Chen was already a 2nd stage Saint rank expert at such a young age. This was something they had never expected. Moreover, Su Chen could kill a 1st stage Saint rank void beast so easily. His strength must be far beyond his peers. Perhaps only a 3rd stage Saint rank expert could suppress him. Thinking of this, the hall was filled with a layer of fear. This was because the strongest void beast present was only at the 2nd stage of the sacred rank. A 2nd stage Saint rank was definitely no match for Su Chen. If Su Chen suddenly attacked, they would all be in danger. Who dares to be presumptuous here? All of a sudden, a cold voice sounded in the hall. Sir Lung-Ao is here. All the heavenly void beasts instantly became extremely excited, and their original feelings of fear also disappeared. Not only was Lung-Ao the deputy city lord of Blacktooth City, he was also a level 3 Saint rank expert. With him around, Su Chen definitely wouldn't be able to make a splash. Soon, a skinny void beast entered the hall. He was Lung-Ao. When he saw the remains of the void beast's corpse in the hall, his face was immediately filled with extreme anger. Human, you better give me a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, your end will be very miserable. Lung-Ao stared unwaveringly at Su Chen. His voice was extremely cold, and his eyes were filled with sharpness. I just wanted to pass through and your clansmen attacked me. I had no choice but to kill them. Su Chen said casually, and then said lightly, while I'm still in a good mood, hurry up and apologize to me. Give me some compensation, and I might consider sparing your life. Feng Qishan was completely dumbfounded. Even he couldn't stand Su Chen's arrogance. How could Lung-Ao endure it? Shameless boasting. Acting recklessly. The group of void beasts were indignant. Lung-Ao was also completely enraged. With a roar, a giant golden saber appeared in his hand and slashed towards Su Chen. This giant golden saber was a sacred weapon. The moment it appeared, the entire hall was filled with a terrifying murderous aura. What a terrifying saber aura! Feng Qishan was affected and couldn't help but tremble. At the same time, he began to worry about Su Chen. Not only was Lung-Ao a level 3 Saint rank existence, but he also used a sacred weapon. Under such circumstances, could Su Chen still be his opponent? Chapter 951. Just as the giant golden saber was about to slash down, Su Chen threw out the integrated 5 extremes mountain. Accompanied by the sound of metal clashing, The giant golden saber was bounced off. How is this possible? Lung Ao cried out in shock, his eyes filled with disbelief. The giant golden saber was a divine weapon of excellent quality. In the past, it could be said to be invincible and unstoppable. Even if it encountered a divine weapon, it could still destroy it. It was the first time he encountered such a situation where he was sent flying upon contact. Su Chen seized the opportunity when Lung Ao was in a daze. He moved his feet and appeared in front of Lung Ao in a flash. Immediately after, a befuddled life was launched from afar. As a Stage 3 sacred rank expert, Lung Ao's willpower was extremely strong. He quickly broke free from the illusion. However, it was too late. At this moment, Su Chen was already holding the Chaos Skysplitter sword, aiming at Lung Ao and slashing down. In an instant, a black vortex about 10 feet in size shrouded Lung Ao's head. It was too late for Lung Ao to escape. He could only resist with his physical body. Sizzle. Crack. Accompanied by a bone-chilling shattering sound. Half of Lung Ao's body was crushed. Bang. After Lung Ao's lower body fell to the ground, the entire hall fell into a suffocating silence. All the void beasts looked at Su Chen with deep respect and fear. The dignified deputy city lord of Blacktooth City, a super expert of the 3rd stage of the saint rank, was no match for Su Chen and was killed on the spot. Su Chen's strength shocked everyone. He's actually so strong. Feng Qishan swallowed his saliva, his heart was in turmoil. At first, when Su Chen wanted to come to Blacktooth City, he threatened to slaughter everyone. He thought Su Chen was crazy. However, when he saw Su Chen kill Lung Ao, he suddenly realized that Su Chen wasn't talking nonsense, and he wasn't acting tough either. He really did have the strength to do so. Moreover, based on the fact that he had killed Lung Ao in an instant, he would even be able to fight against the Castellan of Blacktooth City. After killing Lung Ao, Su Chen quickly collected the fragments and dug out the void energy stones. He gave Feng Qishan a look and said, "Old Feng, follow me." If he continued to attack, he would be fighting against all the void beasts in Blacktooth City. If it were any other time, it wouldn't have mattered. Most importantly, he was in a hurry to get to the void fortress, so he didn't want to continue killing. Su Chen leisurely walked out of the hall. Everywhere he passed, not only were there no void beasts obstructing him, they moved aside successively and took the initiative to open up space for Su Chen. When Feng Qishan saw this, he sighed with emotion. This is the charm of a powerhouse. Although he was surrounded by void beasts, he was strolling leisurely as if he was in an uninhabited land, forcing a group of void beasts to move aside. Only a super powerhouse like Su Chen could do such a magnificent feat. Feng Qishan regained his senses and quickly followed behind Su Chen, afraid that he would fall behind. When Su Chen leisurely walked out of the hall, he suddenly felt a huge pressure in front of him. At the same time, the swift bird also reminded him, "Master, a powerhouse has arrived." A void beast of the 4th stage of the sacred rank. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and muttered. There was only one void beast of the 4th stage of the sacred rank in Blacktooth City, so the one who came must be the Castellan of Blacktooth City. Wei Yang is here. Feng Qishan's expression froze. Wei Yang was the Castellan of Blacktooth City, a 4th stage sacred rank powerhouse. Su Chen had killed 2 sacred ranks in Blacktooth City, and even the deputy Castellan, Lung Ao. It wasn't surprising that Wei Yang would appear here. Chapter 952. You are Su Chen. When he saw Su Chen's appearance clearly, Wei Yang was stunned for a moment, and then his expression became somewhat unnatural. Although Su Chen was a cultivator of the 10,000 races, his reputation had long spread throughout the void. Not only had Wei Yang heard of Su Chen's name, but he had also seen Su Chen's portrait, so he recognized him at a glance. He is Su Chen? Feng Qishan looked at Su Chen in a daze, and his heart was filled with extreme shock. It was rumored that Su Chen was extraordinarily talented, powerful, and extremely ferocious. Countless experts had died in his hands, and almost everywhere he went, he would set off a storm of blood, but no one could stop him. I can't believe he's with this killing god. Feng Qishan clicked his tongue fiercely, and his heart was very complicated. You know me? Su Chen looked at Wei Yang and let out a soft sound of surprise. Wei Yang nodded and then said, Su Chen, Blacktooth City has no enmity with you. Why did you barge in and start a massacre? If it was someone else, he would definitely not have killed Sorrow directly. But facing Su Chen, he could not do so. Since Su Chen's debut, he had never been defeated, and the number of sage-level experts who had died in his hands was almost uncountable. Even as a Stage 4 sage-level expert, he did not dare to underestimate Su Chen. I was just passing through, but your people insisted on attacking me, so I had no choice but to kill them, Su Chen said very naturally. You mean we were wrong? Wei Yang asked in a muffled voice. This was Blacktooth City, the territory of the Void Beasts. Su Chen had barged in for no reason, and even made a false accusation, which made him very angry. Of course you were wrong. Su Chen snorted and said coldly, You should know the way I, Su Chen, do things. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If they don't offend me, why would I attack them? Looking at Su Chen's confident expression, Wei Yang was furious. It was clearly Su Chen who was in the wrong, but when it came out of Su Chen's mouth, it sounded as if he was forced to do so. Then what exactly do you want? Wei Yang suppressed his anger and asked. Even if he was furious to the extreme, he did not want to have a falling out with Su Chen, because he didn't have the slightest confidence that he could kill Su Chen. Once Su Chen escaped or was defeated by Su Chen, the consequences would be unimaginable. He couldn't afford to pay such a price. Since you know your limits, I will leave Blacktooth City if you give me some rewards, Su Chen said in a low voice. If Wei Yang did not come, he would have left immediately. But since Wei Yang was here, he might as well take the opportunity to get some benefits. Feng Qishan, who was at the side, was stunned. If other people rashly barged into Blacktooth City, they would be lucky to survive. Su Chen, on the other hand, not only killed people here, he also wanted to extort a sum of money. He was simply lawless. The corner of Wei Yang's mouth twitched. After hesitating for a while, he finally compromised. He took out 2 black ores from his storage bag and threw them to Su Chen. What ores are these? Su Chen looked at them carefully. He did not recognize the ores, so he asked. They are called black pure ores. They can be used to refine divine weapons, and can also help raise the level of strange fire, Wei Yang explained. He knew that Su Chen would not be interested in ordinary things, and would even incur Su Chen's anger. He might as well give the black pure ores and let Su Chen, the jinx, leave quickly. Su Chen's eyes lit up. Something that could help raise the level of strange fire was exactly what he needed. He never thought that he would get it in Blacktooth City. It was indeed an unexpected surprise. Chapter 953. However, Su Chen had no idea which one was better between the Black Pure Stone and the Spirit Gathering Stone. After pondering for a while, he opened the pet rearing space and contacted the Bone Chill Nether Fire. Little Goo, do you know about the Black Pure Stone? Master, the Black Pure Stone is similar to the Spirit Gathering Stone. They can both help our strange fire level up. The Bone Chill Nether Fire replied immediately. How many Black Pure Stones does Little Thunder need to level up to the Holy Fire level? Su Chen continued asking. The 9-Spirit Thunder Flame was only at level 8. Its level was too low. It could only be used when it leveled up to the Holy Fire level. The quality of the Black Pure Stone is slightly better than the Spirit Gathering Stone, but you need at least 4 of them. The Bone Chill Nether Fire replied after thinking for a while. At least 4 of them? Su Chen pondered for a while and asked Wei Yang. Do you have any more Black Pure Stones? 2 Black Pure Stones were obviously not enough to satisfy his appetite. If Wei Yang had any more, he planned to get them all. No. Wei Yang said straightforwardly. The Black Pure Stones were not cabbages. He was lucky to have gotten 2 of them. Moreover, even if he had more, he would not say it out loud. You really don't have any more? Su Chen stared at Wei Yang with an unfriendly look in his eyes. Su Chen, I really don't have any more. Don't push me too far. Wei Yang said through gritted teeth. He had already made a huge concession. If Su Chen still did not give up, he could only fight Su Chen head-on. Seeing that Wei Yang did not look like he was lying, Su Chen said calmly, If you don't have any more, then you don't have any more. Why are you so agitated? Are you acting like I stole something from you? Wei Young almost choked to death when he heard that. He had just extorted the black pure stones. What was the difference between that and daylight robbery? Were all the cultivators of the myriad races so shameless? However, he could only curse in his heart. He did not dare to say anything to Su Chen. Su Chen did not want to waste time here. He took out the intelligent war chariot and called out to Fang Qishan. Old Fang, let's go. All right. Fang Qishan reacted and quickly boarded the intelligent war chariot. If Su Chen left him here alone, he would definitely be beaten to a pulp. Just now he was a little worried that Su Chen would not care about him. Fortunately, Su Chen was very trustworthy. Satoshi, leave this place. After getting in the car, Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot received the order and left. They're finally gone. Wei Yang let out a long sigh of relief when the intelligent war chariot disappeared from his sight. Old Fang, this place shouldn't be far from Maguang City, right? Su Chen asked on the way. There were still a few months before the Starry Sky tournament. He wanted to take advantage of this time to wander around and see if he could get some spirit gathering stones and black pure stones to help the 9-spirit lightning flame become a sacred flame. It is indeed very close. We can reach there in less than a day, Fang Qishan replied. You lead the way to Maguang City. When you get there, you can leave. Su Chen ordered. He had said before that he would let Fang Qishan go after leaving Blacktooth City. Thank you, Senior. Fang Qishan thanked him and was relieved. Although Su Chen was powerful, he had offended too many people. Following Su Chen, it was hard to guarantee that he would not be implicated. It was better to leave as soon as possible. Su Chen nodded and then asked, Old Fang, which force is in control of Maguang City? Now that his whereabouts had been exposed, not only did he have to guard against heaven-scattering Taoist, but also the Han family and the Gu family. He did not want to enter their territory again. Chapter 954. Maguang City belongs to the Fire Demon race. Fang Qishan said. Fire Demon race? Su Chen pondered and asked. How is the strength of the Fire Demon race? It was the first time he had heard of the Fire Demon race, so he wanted to know more about them. The strongest person of the Fire Demon race is called Hua Huan, a 4th stage Saint rank fire-attributed spirit caster and evolver. His strength is abnormally strong, not much worse than an ordinary 5th stage Saint rank. Fang Qishan said and reminded again. The Fire Demon race is very grumpy, and they will fight with people at the slightest disagreement. Su Chen was also a master who would fight at the slightest disagreement. He was a little worried that Su Chen would have a conflict with the Fire Demon race as soon as he entered Maguang City. Su Chen didn't care much. It had nothing to do with him whether the Fire Demon race was grumpy or not, as long as they didn't act grumpy in front of him. Otherwise, he would have to change the Fire Demon race's temper. After a while, Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and closed his eyes to rest. The intelligent war chariot flew for a day, and a huge city gradually appeared in front of them. Senior, we've arrived at Maguang City. Fang Qishan reminded. Su Chen slowly opened his eyes, glanced at Maguang City, and ordered the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, enter the city. Like the flaming leaf forest, Maguang City was also wrapped in a layer of energy shield. If you want to enter, you can only enter from the designated passage. At this time, there were several Fire Demon race members guarding the passage, and anyone who enters must pay a certain amount of void energy stones. Su Chen put away the intelligent war chariot and landed at the entrance of the passage with Fang Qishan. There were many people entering in front, so Su Chen didn't break the rules and waited slowly. When it was their turn, a Fire Demon race member glanced at Su Chen and said coldly, Humans are not allowed to enter. Huh. Su Chen was taken aback for a moment and asked puzzledly, why? Just now he saw clearly that there were many other races entering Maguang City, so why did they not let the human race enter? There is no reason. This is the rule of Maguang City. Hurry up and leave. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. The Fire Demon guard snorted coldly. Fang Qishan had a bad feeling when he heard this. What kind of person was Su Chen? Even void beasts at the 4th level of the Saint Realm had to submit to him. A mere guard of the Fire Demon clan dared to talk to Su Chen with such an attitude? Did he want to die? Feng Qishan could already imagine that this guard would be in big trouble. Maybe the entire Maguang city would be implicated. Once the battle began, he would not be able to escape unscathed. After all, he had come here with Su Chen. You better give me a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, I will think that you are discriminating against us humans. Su Chen's voice gradually turned cold, and his body emitted a faint murderous aura. As a member of the human race, he would never allow other races to discriminate against him. If anyone dared to do this, he would teach them a lesson and make them change their mind. Give you an explanation? The Fire Demon clan guard snorted and said with a look of disdain. Boy, do you know where this is? This is Maguang City, the territory of our Fire Demon clan. Do we need to explain to a weak human like you? Hurry up and get lost. Otherwise, I will kill you on the spot. A cold light flashed in Su Chen's eyes, and he released his mental force. While binding the Fire Demon clan guard, he grabbed his neck. Those who humiliate my human race must die. Su Chen snorted coldly, and then broke the neck of the Fire Goblin clan guard. Chapter 955. Witnessing this scene, the outsiders at the entrance were all dumbfounded. Since when were the humans so ferocious? Killing people just like that? One must know that Maguang City was the lair of the Hua clan, and the Hua clan was one of the top 10 hidden clans in the void. Their strength was absolutely not to be underestimated. Su Chen was just a human, but he dared to kill people in front of the Hua clan. Wasn't he too bold? Wasn't he afraid of suffering the revenge of the Hua clan? Feng Qishan also trembled in fear. He had long known that Su Chen had a bad temper, but he didn't expect him to be violent to this extent, killing people just because of a disagreement. It was as if he didn't put the Fire Goblin clan in Maguang City in his eyes at all. You dare to kill people? The guards of the Fire Demon tribe reacted, and were immediately enraged. They surrounded Su Chen. I've already killed them. If you don't accept it, you can continue. Su Chen glanced at them and said flatly. Even if the Fire Goblin clan guards were furious to the extreme, none of them dared to make a move. There was no other reason. The strength Su Chen showed was too strong. He could kill a level 10 cultivator with a raise of his hand. He was definitely a saint-rank existence. If they dared to make a move, there was only one outcome, which was to be beheaded on the spot. Since you don't dare to make a move, then get lost. Don't hinder me from entering the city. Su Chen snorted coldly and walked straight into the city. Under the deterrence of Su Chen, the Fire Goblin clan guards retreated and took the initiative to make way for Su Chen. Aren't the Fire Goblin clan guards too scared? They are one of the top 10 hidden clans. How could they just let this human kid kill people and enter the city? What do you know, this human is a saint-rank existence. Who dares to stop him? But there are many Fire Goblin clan saints in Maguang City. This kid still dares to enter. Isn't he afraid of being killed? The human race is proud and arrogant. He thinks he can look down on everyone just because he has reached the saint level. He doesn't know that there are countless beings in the void who are more powerful than him. He even dares to kill the guards of the Fire Demon clan. He will die for sure as long as he enters the city. Seeing that Su Chen still dared to enter the city, the surrounding strange races started to whisper among themselves. They all agreed that once Su Chen entered the city, he would definitely not be able to come out alive. Who dares to behave atrociously in my Maguang City? Just as Su Chen was about to enter Maguang City, a cold roar entered his ears. Su Chen stopped and took a closer look. He saw a Fire Demon clansman who was as strong as a small mountain running out of the city. Elder Huafeng of the Fire Demon clan has come out. This human brat is dead for sure. As soon as the flame edge appeared, a commotion broke out all around. Human, did you kill my clan's guards? Huafeng pointed at the corpse of the Fire Demon clan's guard on the ground and questioned coldly. Yes. Su Chen admitted it generously. Give me a reason. Huafeng suppressed his anger and stared at Su Chen. Su Chen's indifferent attitude made him mutter to himself, so he didn't make a move immediately. Your fire demon clan dares to discriminate against my human race. You deserve to die. If you have the same idea as him, I don't mind killing you too, Su Chen said calmly, but the domineering and unscrupulous tone in his words were unreservedly revealed. Hiss. Suddenly, there was a sound of cold air being sucked in. Huafeng was a second-level saint-level powerhouse, yet Su Chen still dared to speak so arrogantly. Was he fearless? Or was he ignorant and fearless? A group of strange races were looking forward to a good show. Chapter 956. Huafeng took a deep breath, and a strong murderous aura spread out from his body. Affected by his aura, the surrounding aliens retreated. How arrogant! I'd like to see how you're going to kill me today. Huafeng could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. With a roar, he charged at Su Chen. A mere human dared to spout such nonsense in the Fire Demon tribe's territory. If he couldn't kill him, how could he survive in the void? What would the other aliens think of the Fire Demon tribe? Therefore, no matter what, he had to kill Su Chen today and tell the world that this was the consequence of offending the Fire Demon tribe. Huafeng is in trouble. Fang Qishan let out a sigh and quickly retreated. Among everyone present, he was the only one who knew Su Chen's true identity, and he had seen how powerful Su Chen was. A third-stage Saint-rank Void Beast was killed like an ant by Su Chen, and a fourth-stage Saint-rank Void Beast was so intimidated by Su Chen that it couldn't move. Huafeng, a mere second-stage Saint-rank, dared to show off in front of Su Chen? Wasn't he seeking death? You're overestimating yourself. Su Chen's mouth was filled with contempt. Just as Huafeng was about to reach him, he released his spiritual force and restrained Huafeng. Although they were both second-stage Saint ranks, Su Chen had eaten 20 essence fruits twice, so his spiritual force was far stronger than his peers. It wasn't any weaker than a third-stage Saint rank. Huafeng felt as if he was trapped in a swamp, and all his movements became extremely sluggish. Spiritual force. How can it be so powerful? Huafeng was inexplicably shocked. His voice trembled as he spoke. The aliens around them also noticed that something was wrong. Huafeng, who was originally aggressive, stopped when he was about to reach Su Chen. It looked like he was being controlled. While they were still trying to figure out what was going on, Su Chen took a step forward, grabbed Huafeng by the neck, and lifted him into the air as if he were a chicken. Witnessing this scene, everyone's jaws dropped. Their faces were filled with shock and disbelief. They remembered clearly that Su Chen had strangled a Fire Yao guard just like that. However, the Fire Demon Clan guard was only at level 10, while Huafeng was a true second-stage Saint rank. How could he be lifted up by the neck so easily? Woo-woo. Huafeng's face turned pale as he realized that Su Chen was a peak expert. He was so regretful that his intestines turned green. He wanted to beg for mercy. However, his neck was strangled, and he could not speak at all. You fire demons are like ants in my eyes. How dare you look down on us humans? You deserve to die. Su Chen stared at Huafeng and snorted coldly. He then increased the strength of his hand, causing Huafeng to roll his eyes. Seeing that Huafeng was about to be strangled to death, an angry roar came from Maguang City. Stop, you dare to kill him. After all, you are going to turn him into ashes. Kacha. What answered him was the crisp sound of something breaking. Su Chen mercilessly broke Huafeng's neck and threw him to the ground. Then he turned to the Fire Demon clan member who spoke and said indifferently, "What I hate the most is others threatening me. He violated my taboo, so he must die." F***CK. Seeing Su Chen mercilessly kill without hesitation, the surrounding outsiders were all dumbfounded. The one who came was a stooped old man from the Fire Demon clan. He did not expect that Su Chen would really dare to make a move, and was about to explode in anger. "Kid, tell me your name. I don't kill nameless people." The stooped old man stared at Su Chen and shouted. Chapter 957. Su Chen. Su Chen said indifferently. Even if he didn't reveal his name, the other party would quickly find out about it, so he might as well say it. Su Chen? Which Su Chen? Could it be the god of slaughter, Su Chen of the human race? When Su Chen revealed his name, the surroundings fell silent for a moment. When they finally reacted and found out about Su Chen's true identity, a huge wave of panic spread in their hearts. At this moment, all the strange races involuntarily retreated, and their eyes were filled with deep fear as they looked at Su Chen. It was rumored that Su Chen killed people like scything flax, especially towards the strange races. He was even more ruthless and would easily destroy cities and exterminate clans. They were all worried that they would be targeted by Su Chen. If Su Chen wanted to kill them, there was no chance of survival. When the hunchbacked old man heard the name Su Chen, he was almost scared to death. He had just received news that Su Chen had slaughtered in Blacktooth City and left. Even the city lord of Blacktooth City, Wei Yang, had to lower his head in front of Su Chen. From this, it could be seen how terrifying Su Chen was. Although he was a Stage 3 Saint Stage expert, he knew that he was definitely not a match for Su Chen. So it's Brother Su. I am Huaqin. I have long heard of Brother Su's great name. It is truly an honor to meet you today. The hunchbacked old man, Huaqin, licked his lips and tried to curry favor. As soon as he said this, not only was Su Chen stunned, even the strange races around were dumbfounded. Huaqin was so angry just now that he had declared that he would not stop until he killed Su Chen. Why did he seem like a different person in the blink of an eye? He even humbled himself and called Su Chen brother. This was too embarrassing. He even threw away the dignity of the fire demon race? As expected of Su Chen. Feng Qishan sighed inwardly. He could guess that the reason why Huaqin changed his attitude was completely because he was intimidated by Su Chen's reputation. One of the top 10 clans, the Hua clan, had a 3rd-level Saint Realm expert. Yet he had to bend his knees in front of Su Chen. From this, one could see how famous Su Chen was in the void. Su Chen collected the fragments without batting an eyelid. Then he looked at Huaqin and said calmly, "Didn't you want to grind my bones to dust? Why are you admitting defeat now?" Gulp. Huaqin swallowed his saliva and said with an embarrassed smile, "Brother Su, I was just joking with you. How could I possibly fight with you?" "A joke?" Su Chen snorted and said meaningfully, "But you scolded me, and I'm a very vengeful person." Since Huaqin was so tactful, he really didn't want to continue attacking. However, he was unwilling to give up just like that. Therefore, he wanted to take the opportunity to extort a sum of money. If Huaqin gave something similar, he could forgive him once. Huaqin immediately took out a storage bag and handed it to Su Chen with a smile. "I offended you just now. This is a little compensation. I hope Brother Su will kindly accept it." Su Chen took it naturally and released his mental force. When he saw the things inside, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. He smiled and said, "Old Hua, you are very sensible." There were not only a large number of void stones in the storage bag, but also several spirit gathering stones. Spirit gathering stones could help improve the level of the strange flame. The purpose of coming to Maguang City was for spirit gathering stones. Since Huaqin was so tactful, he wouldn't bother with him. Hearing that Su Chen was going to let him go, Huaqin breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 958. Old Hua, I heard that your Maguang City discriminates against us humans? You even ordered the guards not to allow us humans to enter? Su Chen put away the things and turned to Huaqin and said. Huaqin was taken aback and hurriedly explained. It's all these blind things that made the decision in private. Our fire demon race has no intention of discriminating against humans. In fact, it was him who issued the order. Because after learning that Su Chen was nearby, he was a little worried that Su Chen would come to Maguang City. It was rumored that wherever Su Chen went, he would set off a bloody storm. City Lord Hua Huan was not in the city at this time. Without him, he didn't dare to let Su Chen enter. Therefore, he issued the order not to allow humans to enter. Originally, he thought that he could stop Su Chen from entering. Unexpectedly, Su Chen was even more unscrupulous than the rumors. He actually killed people and forced his way in. This was something he didn't expect. If he knew that Su Chen was so strong, he would have simply let Su Chen enter the city. Now he really suffered a double loss. Not only was a 2nd stage Saint rank powerhouse killed, But he was also extorted. He simply wanted to cry but had no tears. So that's the case. Suchin nodded. He knew very well that Huqin was just looking for an excuse, but he didn't point it out. Then he said faintly, I heard that the people of your fire demon race are very hot-tempered. Now that I've killed your people, you won't kill me when I enter the city, right? Do we, the fire demon clan, kill people just because of a disagreement? You're talking about yourself, right? Huqin was so angry that he almost cursed. However, these words could only be cursed in his heart. He absolutely didn't dare to say it in front of Suchin. We can't wait to welcome you. Brother Su really knows how to joke. Huqin smiled awkwardly. Suchin was such a killing god. They couldn't avoid him. Who the hell would want to kill him? Then I'm relieved. Suchin smiled and walked straight into the city. When Suchin disappeared from sight, Huqin quickly entered the city. He had to inform everyone as soon as possible. He must not let anyone provoke Suchin. Otherwise, it was very likely that it would be a catastrophe. Those foreign races at the entrance were originally going to enter Maguang City. However, after seeing Suchin enter the city, they all changed their minds and left. Feng Qishan stood where he was and hesitated for a while. In the end, he decided to enter the city. Originally, he didn't want to enter. However, if he wanted to return to the Flaming Leaf Forest, he had to use the teleportation array here. There was no other way. Suchin entered Maguang City and wandered around. Some of the places he visited were mainly large shops. His purpose was to look for spirit gathering stones and other ores. However, it was a pity that after walking around for a few days, he still hadn't come across a single piece. However, he did receive a piece of news. Maguang City was going to hold an auction next month. The scale of the auction was huge, and it was only held once a year. An auction of this scale would usually have a lot of good stuff. Suchin had a strong interest in this and planned to participate when the time came. In addition, he also inquired about a very important piece of news. The Void Battlefield would be opened in a few days. Entering the Void Battlefield, there was a certain chance of awakening special abilities. When he was in the mysterious heavenly continent, Suchin wanted to enter. For this reason, he specially joined the Sun Moon Star Palace. Now that he was in the Void Battlefield, he naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity. After inquiring about the specific location of the Void Battlefield, Suchin immediately left Maguang City and headed towards the Void Battlefield. Chapter 959. The Void Battlefield was a small, damaged continent. Even in the vast and boundless void, it was incomparably huge. It was definitely not something an island like the Flaming Leaf Forest could compare to. 3 days later, the intelligent war chariot came to a place a few miles away from the Void Battlefield. Suchin squinted and looked outside, only to see that the periphery of the Void Battlefield was densely covered with a large number of void turbulence and a layer of faintly discernible energy shield. In addition, there were some miasma-like things mixed in, making it look even more strange. Satoshi, search for the entrance, Suchin ordered. Even though he had reached the second stage of the saint level and had the ancient godfiend body, he did not intend to take the risk and barge in. According to the information he had previously inquired about, there were a total of 2 entrances to the Void Battlefield. One belonged to the Alliance of the 10,000 Races, and the other belonged to the Void Beasts. He was planning to enter from the Alliance of the 10,000 Races. Master, I found it. After searching for a while, the intelligent war chariot soon found the location of the entrance and transmitted the image to the central control screen. Suchin focused his eyes and saw that somewhere in the Void Battlefield, there was a huge city standing tall and upright. This city was connected to the Void Battleground. At this moment, there were tens of thousands of cultivators of the 10,000 races gathered outside the city. Among them were cultivators of the human race, but there were very few of them, only a dozen or so. Suchin could imagine that these people must be participating in the Void Battlefield. Satoshi, speed up and go there, Suchin ordered. The Void Battlefield was about to open, and he did not want to miss this opportunity. Yes. The intelligent war chariot received the order and flew at full speed in a certain direction. Half an hour later, they arrived in front of him. At this moment, the cultivators of the Alliance of the 10,000 Races were lining up and entering the city in an orderly manner. Su Chen glanced at them, put away the intelligent war chariot, and flew toward the city gate. There were tens of thousands of people waiting in line, and he did not know how long they would have to wait. He did not want to waste time here. Su Chen landed in front of the city gate and walked inside. This action of cutting the queue immediately caused the surrounding cultivators to be very displeased. In addition, Su Chen was a young human, so they didn't take him seriously and started to clamor. Human, scram to the back of the line. A puny human dares to cut the queue? Are you tired of living? Private fights were strictly prohibited here, so they only scolded a few times and did not attack Su Chen. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and snorted coldly. Whoever dares to talk nonsense again, kill them on the spot. After saying that, he continued to walk towards the city gate as if he was taking a stroll. Seeing how arrogant Su Chen was, the cultivators of the myriad clans around were stunned for a moment before they were completely enraged. One had to know that there were more than 10,000 cultivators here. Su Chen was just a human, yet he didn't put them in his eyes. He was simply too arrogant. It was so outrageous that it made one's hair stand on end. A saint-level existence of the God clan noticed the situation here and flew over. His eyes fell on Su Chen as he questioned coldly, "Human, why don't you line up?" Su Chen said indifferently, "Nothing, I just don't want to waste time." Don't want to waste time? The God clan's saint-level existence opened his mouth slightly, and then sneered. "You're just a human, and you think you're a nobody? Since you don't abide by the rules, go to hell." All of a sudden, a violent mental power crushed toward Su Chen. "Serves you right. This is what you get for showing off." The cultivators of the myriad races all mocked him. In their opinion, Su Chen would definitely die if the God clan saint-level expert attacked. Chapter 960. Su Chen stood still on the spot without the slightest hint of panic on his face. Instead, there was a strange smile on his face as he allowed the mental strength of the God race to crush him. Kid, be a human in your next life and open your eyes. There are some occasions where an ant like you can't show off. The God race saint level thought that Su Chen had been scared silly. He laughed maniacally and manipulated his mental strength to crush Su Chen. "You're too naive." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and sneered. The God race saint level was only at stage 1, while he was at stage 2 and had the ancient godfiend body. It was ridiculous that the other party wanted to kill him with that level of cultivation. In the next moment, when the mental strength of the God race saint level touched Su Chen's body, it seemed to have been counterattacked by an invisible force and was easily defeated. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, the God race saint level exclaimed in horror. The pair of eyes that looked at Su Chen were filled with deep horror and disbelief. He really couldn't figure out why he couldn't cause any harm to Su Chen with his mental strength. Could it be that Su Chen's physical body was so strong that he could ignore mental strength attacks? The cultivators of the thousands of races around also realized that something was wrong, and began to talk about it. What's going on? Why isn't this kid dead yet? He seems to have ignored the mental strength of the God race saint level. Ignored? The cultivators of the thousands of races were shocked. The fact that he could ignore the mental strength of a saint-level existence meant that Su Chen's physical body was extremely strong, and his cultivation level was definitely not lower than that of the God race saint level. He's a stage 2 saint-level powerhouse. Suddenly, someone exclaimed in shock. It was like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples. The crowd immediately fell into a huge panic. A stage 2 saint-level powerhouse was inviolable. They had all mocked Su Chen before. Would Su Chen let them off? Once Su Chen made a move against them, even if they joined forces, they would not be a match for him. This was because they were all below the saint rank. The strongest among them was only level 10. There was no way they could withstand the attack of a level 2 saint rank. "Human, who are you?" asked the God race saint-level master with a trembling voice. Realizing that Su Chen was also a saint-level expert, and even stronger than him, he started to feel uneasy. However, there was one thing that puzzled him. There weren't many human sages, and he knew every single one of them. However, This was the first time that Su Chen had seen such a thing. Could it be that he had just become a saint? Who else could be a new saint-level human? Could it be? As if thinking of something, the god race saint-level sovereign's face turned deathly pale, and his body trembled slightly. Since you made the first move, don't blame me for being impolite. Su Chen snorted coldly. He suddenly released his mental force and swept it toward the divine race sage. Wait a minute. The god race saint-level beast tamer roared desperately. However, Su Chen was not affected at all. In the next moment, the divine race sage was firmly restrained. He did not even have the chance to speak. What a terrifying mental force. Who exactly is he? The surrounding cultivators were terrified and retreated one after another. Stop it. Just as Su Chen was about to kill the divine race sage, a majestic voice drifted over. Immediately after, a dozen figures approached from afar. Judging from the aura that they exuded, they were all sages. Su Chen, let him go. Otherwise, I'll turn you into ashes. When more than a dozen saints appeared in front of them, one of the god race men shouted. Chapter 961. He's Su Chen? After knowing Su Chen's true identity, the cultivators of the myriad races couldn't help but tremble. Su Chen was notorious, and they had naturally heard of him. At this moment, they were a little uneasy. Su Chen looked at the god race man who spoke and sneered. You think you can threaten me? As soon as he finished speaking, he used his mind power to pull the god race man closer and grabbed his neck. Seeing that Su Chen ignored his threat, the god race man flew into a rage and roared. Su Chen, if you dare to hurt a hair of my people, you'll regret living in this world. Haha. Su Chen pursed his lips and snapped the god race man's neck in front of everyone. Crack. With a crisp breaking sound, the god race man's head tilted to the side and he died on the spot. Hiss. Seeing this scene, the sound of cold air being sucked in could be heard from all around. It was rumored that Su Chen was unscrupulous and would kill people at the slightest disagreement. Today, they saw that he lived up to his reputation. I'm going to kill you. The veins on the god race man's face bulged, and he could no longer contain the anger in his heart. Just as he was about to attack Su Chen, he was stopped by an elder from the Night Demon clan. Su Chen glanced at the god race man and said disdainfully, "You're just an ant. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Believe it or not, I can kill you with one finger." You. The god race man was so angry that his mouth trembled. However, he had calmed down now. He knew that if he fought Su Chen one-on-one, he would die, so he didn't continue to attack. Su Chen, what are you trying to do? The elder from the Night Demon clan stared at Su Chen and asked coldly, I just want to enter the void battleground. If you know what's good for you, get lost, and I won't bother with you. If you try to stop me, I'll kill all of you. Su Chen said calmly. These words were like a sudden clap of thunder. None of the myriad races cultivators present could remain calm. Too arrogant. Too arrogant. It was true that Su Chen was known as the god of slaughter and was exceptionally powerful, but there were more than a dozen saint-level experts present. Furthermore, the elder from the Night Demon clan was a third-stage saint-rank existence. Su Chen still did not put them in his eyes. He was too condescending. The Night Demon elder took a deep breath and suppressed his anger. Su Chen, there are clear rules to enter the void battleground. Only those below the saint level can enter. You're already a second-level saint, so you can't enter. Leave quickly. Although his level was higher than Su Chen's, he did not have the slightest confidence that he would be a match for Su Chen. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he did not want to fall out with Su Chen. Rules are dead, but people are alive. Today, I'll change the rules. I'm going to enter the void battleground. Anyone who tries to stop me will be killed without mercy. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and raised his voice. Su Chen, this is the void, not the continent. Do you really think you're invincible? Do you think we won't kill you? A saint level from the Dharma clan glared at him and threatened. Su Chen pursed his lips and smiled faintly. I'm not invincible right now, but I'm more than enough to deal with a bunch of ants like you. Shameless boasting. The expressions of the group of saint-level experts became extremely unsightly. Being humiliated by Su Chun in front of tens of thousands of cultivators made their anger reach its peak. Su Chun is not only the scum of the human race, but also the scourge of all races. I suggest we all work together to kill him. A second stage saint-level human suggested. Chapter 962. Family Head Su is right. We can't let Su Chun continue to be so arrogant. The God Clan man immediately responded. Su Chun narrowed his eyes and glanced at the second stage Saint Realm human cultivator. He said coldly, "You must be from the Su clan of Qingyan Island, right?" He hadn't killed many people with the surname Su. The only one he knew was the Su clan of Qingyan Island. Since the human cultivator in front of him also had the surname Su, he became suspicious. This old man is Su Mao. Su Mao snorted coldly, then gritted his teeth and said, "Su Chun, you indiscriminately slaughtered my clansmen on Qingyan Island. This hatred is absolutely irreconcilable. Since you're irreconcilable, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and kill me." Su Chun sneered. Su Mao could only speak bravely. If he really had to make a move, he would instead be a coward. "I'll let you be arrogant for a while." Su Mao gritted his teeth and turned to the Night Demon Elder, waiting for him to make a decision. Of all the people present, the Night Demon Elder had the highest cultivation. If he wanted to deal with Su Chun, he had to take the lead. The Night Demon Elder looked at Su Chun and said in a deep voice, "Su Chun, this old man will give you one more chance. Leave immediately and I'll pretend nothing happened." Su Chun smiled contemptuously. "I'll also give you one chance. Hand over Su Mao and that ant from the God Clan, and get the hell out of here. I won't care about anything." Did the Night Demon Elder think a third stage Saint Realm existence could threaten him? He was too naive. It wasn't like he hadn't killed a third stage Saint Realm before. A few days ago, he killed a third stage Saint Realm Void Beast in Blacktooth City. Therefore, the Night Demon Elder's threat was just a joke in his eyes. "Since you don't know what's good for you, then die." The Night Demon Elder gnashed his teeth and roared. He was the first to charge at Su Chun. Even a clay figurine had some temper. How could a third-level Saint rank expert be humiliated by Su Chun? Of course, if he was alone, he would not dare to attack Su Chun. However, with over a dozen Saint-level experts gathered here, he didn't believe that so many experts couldn't deal with Su Chun alone. Kill. When the Night Demon Elder attacked, the other Saints also attacked Su Chun. Among them, Su Mao and the God Clan man's performance was the most eye-catching. "Since you're all rushing to your deaths, I'll fulfill your wishes." Su Chun coldly snorted. As soon as he finished speaking, his entire body suddenly rose to a height of 10 feet. Using the Atlas shapeshifting technique, his cultivation soared to the third stage of the Saint stage. Die. Su Chun's sudden transformation gave the Night Demon Elder a fright. However, he didn't retreat. Gritting his teeth, he raised a pitch-black iron rod and smashed it down toward Su Chun's head. "I'll start with you." A cold glint flashed through Su Chun's eyes. As the iron rod smashed towards him, he used the Drunken Dream from afar. All of a sudden, the Night Demon Elder seemed to have turned into stone. All of his movements stopped, and even the iron rod in the air stopped. Seizing the opportunity, Su Chun moved his feet and approached the Night Demon Clan Elder. Then a powerful golden fist smashed out with a loud bang. No. The Night Demon Elder had just broken free from the illusion when he felt a strong gust of wind from the fist blow towards him. He only had time to let out an unwilling scream before his entire head and half of his body were smashed into pieces. Seeing this scene, the surroundings fell into a suffocating silence. Everyone looked at Su Chun with their mouths agape, their eyes filled with deep fear. The other Saint-level powerhouses also stopped charging at this moment, and looked at Su Chun with shock and confusion. Chapter 963. None of the people present had expected that the Night Demon Clan's third stage Saint level would be instantly killed by Su Chun without even being able to resist a single move. Just how strong was Su Chun after his transformation? Who could stop him? Thinking of Su Chun's reputation as the god of slaughter and his style of doing things, everyone was terrified. The Saint-level experts were especially fearful. especially those saint-level powerhouses. Each and every one of them trembled with fear. Now that the Night Demon clan's elder was dead, they would definitely be Su Chen's next target. Would they still have a chance to survive? On the other side, Su Chen's gaze drifted over to Su Mao and the God Race man. Just now, these two had been the happiest. After killing the Night Demon clan's elder, it was time to get rid of them. Su Chen, my God Race has a 5th stage saint-level expert. You can't kill me. Being swept by Su Chen's gaze, the God Race man immediately felt a chill run down his spine. He knew that Su Chen wanted to kill him, so he hurriedly brought up the experts of his race to make Su Chen wary. You're just a 5th stage saint-level expert. If you dare to stop me, I'll kill you without hesitation. Su Chen smiled contemptuously and instantly released his spiritual power, sweeping it toward the God Race man. Although this statement was a little arrogant, it was not boasting at all. Because he still had a lot of energy points, he could advance to the 3rd stage saint level at any time. If he used Atlas shapeshifting, he would reach the 4th stage saint level. Killing an enemy 1 stage higher was as easy as eating and drinking for him. With a scream, the God Race man was crushed by Su Chen's spiritual power without any resistance. Seeing the 2 saint-level powerhouses being killed by Su Chen one after another, the surrounding cultivators could no longer bear the pressure and fled in all directions. Su Chen did not care about this. His main target was these saint-level experts. Then his gaze fell on Su Mao and he mocked. An ant like you wants to kill me? Do you have the ability? Gulp. Su Mao swallowed a mouthful of saliva as his entire body began to tremble. He knew very well that Su Chen would not let him go. Then he gritted his teeth and roared. Everyone, let's fight it out with him. However, none of the saints in the surroundings responded. Some of them even started to retreat slowly. Seeing this, Su Mao's face turned pale, and his heart turned cold. You don't even have anyone to help you when you're about to die. How pathetic. Su Chen sneered. Then he threw out a Pegasus meteor punch and blasted Su Mao into powder. The remaining saint-level powerhouses exchanged glances with each other, before turning around and fleeing. However, there was a human saint-level expert who stood there without moving at all. Su Chen glanced at him and said coldly, "Wait for me here. If you dare to escape, I will kill you even if I have to go to the ends of the earth." Yes. The human saint-level expert trembled and replied respectfully. Su Chen ignored him and used the rapid war boots to chase after the other saint-level experts. Since the other party fled in a scattered manner, Su Chen simply summoned the golden puppet to help kill them. After the golden puppet combined with the other 2 saint-level puppets, its strength skyrocketed to stage 3 saint-level. It was too easy for it to deal with some cultivators below stage 2 saint-level. Half an hour later, all the fleeing saint-level experts were killed. Su Chen collected the fragments and hurried back. That human saint-level expert stood there obediently and did not move at all. Which force are you from? What's your name? Su Chen came to the human saint-level expert and asked coldly. Chapter 964. My name is Mu Xiangkai. I'm from the Mu clan of the Emerald Cloud Island. Mu Xiangkai did not dare to hide anything and told him the truth. The Mu clan of the Emerald Cloud Island. Su Chen pondered for a moment before asking. Old Mu, how many human sages are there left? 14. Mu Xiangkai replied quickly. Originally, the number of human sages was more than that. However, after Su Chen killed some of them, there were only 14 left. Su Chen nodded slightly and continued. How many sages are there left in the 4 major forces of the mysterious heavenly mainland? The human sages were most likely instigated by the sages from the mysterious heavenly mainland to hunt him down. He would not let any of them go. As for the other human sages, he could spare their worthless lives. After all, if the human sages were all killed, chaos would ensue. As a member of the human race, he did not want to see that happen. The Assassin League, the Temple of the Wildlands, and the Sun Moon Star Palace have one each, Mu Xiangkai replied. I'll give you a chance to live. You must listen carefully, Su Chen said in a low voice. Mu Xiangkai's expression changed when he heard that there was a chance to live. He perked up his ears and listened carefully. Go back and contact the other human sages. Kill the sages from the Assassin League and the Temple of the Wildlands. Also, escort Patriarch Warsky from the Sun Moon Star Palace to the Qi clan in the Void Fortress. If you do these two things well, you can all live, Su Chen ordered. Don't worry, I'll do it well. Mu Xiangkai nodded and promised. Killing the two sages from the Assassin League and the Temple of the Wildlands was not right. However, it was the only way to survive. Moreover, it was mainly the two sages who instigated them to go against Su Chen. They only had themselves to blame for this. You can leave now. Su Chen waved his hand and dismissed him. Thank you. Mu Xiangkai felt as if he had been pardoned and fled the place. After Mu Xiangkai disappeared from sight, Su Chen opened the pet breeding space and talked to Flaming Phoenix. Little Flame, is there any danger in the Void Battleground? He was going to enter the Void Battleground later. Just in case, he wanted to learn more about the Void Battleground. Among all the pets, only the Flaming Phoenix had entered the Void Battleground. Master, there are many dangers in the Void Battleground. There will also be Void Beasts. However, with Master's current strength, there shouldn't be any problems, the Flaming Phoenix said. After receiving Flaming Phoenix's reply, Su Chen didn't think too much about it and walked towards the city gate. Originally, there were many guards in the city, but now they were all gone. Su Chen glanced around, found the entrance to the Void Battleground, and entered it in a flash. Once he entered the Void Battleground, Su Chen's vision became blurry. There was a layer of gray mist floating around, and the range of vision was very limited. At most, it could only reach 100 meters. Moreover, Su Chen could clearly feel that his cultivation had been suppressed to level 10. It was as if he had suddenly entered the continent. Su Chen didn't care about this. Under the situation where they were all level 10, no one would be his opponent. Then, he flew in a certain direction. The main purpose of coming here was to awaken special abilities. There was only one way to awaken special abilities, and that was to fight nonstop. Only in battle could one awaken special abilities. At this moment, he was looking for void beasts. After running for about 10 miles, hundreds of moving figures suddenly appeared in front of him. Although he couldn't see their faces clearly, he was sure that they were void beasts. Because all the practitioners of the 10,000 clans were scared away, he was the only one who entered the void battleground. Chapter 965. When Su Chen got closer, there were indeed hundreds of void beasts in front of him. Haha. I've finally met a human. A level 10 void beast laughed out loud. They had been in the void battleground for a long time, but they had not found a single human. They were very excited to meet Su Chen here. At this moment, they surrounded Su Chen and stared at Su Chen covetously, treating Su Chen as prey. Human, where are the other members of your race? Tell me the truth and I'll spare you from physical pain. The level 10 void beast stared at Su Chen and asked coldly, You won't be coming. Su Chen rubbed his nose and replied faintly. Then a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. You look like you want to eat me. I advise you not to have such thoughts. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. As soon as he said that, the surroundings fell silent for a moment. Then, there was a roar of laughter. All the void beasts looked at Su Chen as if they were looking at an idiot. They really did not understand how Su Chen dared to be so arrogant. So what if Su Chen was a level 10 cultivator? There were hundreds of void beasts present, and there were a few level 10 ones. If they attacked together, they could tear Su Chen apart. Human, kneel in front of me and beg for my forgiveness. Otherwise, I'll make you beg for death. A level 10 void beast sneered. Su Chen's shameless boasting made him very unhappy. At this moment, he was secretly determined to torture Su Chen to death. Su Chen pursed his lips. Before the level 10 void beast could react, he released his mind power and pulled it to his side. Then he pressed on its shoulder and said coldly, Kneel. The level 10 void beast did not even have time to say a word before it felt an unparalleled force crushing it. It could not help but kneel at Su Chen's feet. Hiss. Witnessing this scene, the group of void beasts gasped one after another. In front of Su Chen, A level 10 void beast didn't even have the power to resist. Then how strong was Su Chen? Suddenly, a feeling of fear spread in their hearts. Su Chen's strength had completely exceeded their expectations, causing them to feel extremely pressured. Human, let him go. Otherwise, I'll grind your bones to dust. Another level 10 void beast roared at Su Chen. Although he was terrified of Su Chen's strength, when he thought of the many clansmen surrounding him, if they all swarmed together, they could still kill Su Chen, so he wasn't afraid anymore. As you wish. Su Chen smiled faintly as he reached out and crushed the heavenly void beast's head before tossing it away. Bang! When the headless body of the void beast hit the ground, the hearts of the surrounding void beasts trembled. But soon it was overshadowed by anger. Let's attack together and kill him. Under the leadership of a level 10 void beast, all the void beasts attacked Su Chen. Su Chen glanced at them coldly and pulled out the enchanted divine saber. After channeling a thunder spell into it, he swung the saber horizontally. Terrifying lightning waves wreaked havoc, and in the blink of an eye, the group of void beasts were all killed. Su Chen finished collecting the fragments that had fallen out and stood on the spot, muttering to himself. This time he had killed hundreds of void beasts, but they did not awaken any abilities. This made him a little unhappy. However, he recovered quickly. There were many void beasts in the void battlefield. Killing this batch did not awaken any abilities, but perhaps the next batch would. Chapter 966. Later, he opened his storage bag and contacted the Intelligent War Chariot. Satoshi, is your detection function still effective here? No one knew how vast the void battlefield was. No matter how many void beasts entered, it would be difficult to find them if they were scattered. If the Intelligent War Chariot could search, they could quickly find traces of the void beasts and save a lot of time. Master, I can search. The Intelligent War Chariot replied affirmatively. Su Chen was delighted and ordered Satoshi search for the whereabouts of the void beasts. In the next few days, with the help of the Intelligent War Chariot, Su Chen killed thousands of void beasts and collected tens of thousands of fragments. However, his special ability could not be awakened. It seems that I can't awaken it. Su Chen sighed faintly. There was a certain probability of awakening a special ability, and the probability was very low. He had already killed more than 1,000 void beasts. If he could awaken it, he would have done so long ago. After pondering for a while, Su Chen opened the chaos space and pet raising space. He summoned everyone and all his spiritual pets. Since he could not awaken it, he would leave the opportunity to others. Su Chen, is this the void battlefield? Chen Feng and the others came to Su Chen's side and asked. As it was their first time entering the void battlefield, they were particularly excited. Su Chen nodded and reminded them. I'll take you to hunt void beasts later. You must seize the opportunity. You might be able to awaken a special ability. Chen Feng and the others knew the importance of awakening a special ability and expressed their understanding. After that, Su Chen led everyone to hunt void beasts. During this period, they killed more than 2,000 void beasts. Su Chen did not attack again and left all the opportunities to others. However, the probability of awakening a special ability was indeed very low. After killing so many void beasts, only 3 people could awaken a special ability. They were Tan Lin, Yang Qian, and Sherdaniu. Tan Lin awakened a healing ability that could heal herself and others. It was a supportive ability. Yang Qian awakened the ability to fly, which was similar to Su Chen's meteoric rise. It was a very good ability. What Sherdaniu had awakened was the ability to increase his strength, which could double his own strength. Although it could not be compared with Su Chen's heaven-reaching 100-fold vigorous force technique, the doubled strength was enough to crush those at the same level. Su Chen didn't plan on staying in the void battleground any longer after killing most of the void beasts, because there was still an auction waiting for them in Maguang City. After a while, he put everyone into the chaos space. Just as he was about to leave, the swift bird suddenly reminded him, Master, I feel a very powerful existence hiding around us. He seems to be observing us, but I can't pinpoint his location. Su-Chen frowned slightly. In the void battleground, the strongest player was only level 10. How could a level 10 existence make the swift bird feel any danger? Su-Chen narrowed his eyes and pondered for a moment. He then opened the storage bag and asked the intelligent chariot, Satoshi, search the vicinity and see if there are any strong people hiding. The intelligent chariot searched for a while and replied, Master, there are 3 saint-level void beasts coming this way. No matter how high the level of a saint-level void beast is, it can only exert the strength of level 10 here. Su-Chen didn't care. But he had some doubts. Did these 3 saint-level void beasts make the swift bird feel danger? Xiao Sun, is the source of your danger these 3 saint-level void beasts? Chapter 967. No. The swift bird replied affirmatively and then explained. Master, the source of that danger is countless times stronger than the 3 saint-level void beasts, but it has disappeared now, and we can't sense the danger signal. It's not? Su-Chen frowned slightly. At this time, there was no time to think too much, because the 3 saint-level void beasts had already arrived in front of him. Human, as a saint-level powerhouse, you broke the rules and entered the void battlefield. You even massacred our clansmen. You have to give us an explanation. A saint-level void beast sized up Su-Chen and questioned coldly. Explanation? Su-Chen pursed his lips. What kind of explanation do you want? Hand over everything you have, cripple your own cultivation, and come back with us to accept your punishment. The saint-level void beast said naturally. It looked as if it had completely defeated Su-Chen. Are you void beasts all pigs? Su-Chen mocked. To a cultivator, it was better to die than to cripple one's own cultivation. The void beast actually made such a request. There must be something wrong with its brain. Since you're not good for anything, then die. The saint-level void beast who spoke was instantly enraged. He picked up a huge hammer and smashed it down at Su-Chen. You're overestimating yourself. Su-Chen didn't stand on ceremony with him. He raised his hand and threw out the Integrated 5 Extremes Mountain. When the Integrated 5 Extremes Mountain transformed into a small mountain that was 100 feet tall, it pressed down on the saint-level void beast that was charging over. There was a loud bang. The saint-level void beast was smashed into the ground with his hammer and died on the spot. Seeing this scene, the remaining 2 saint-level void beasts were scared out of their wits, and their bodies trembled. It was only at this moment that they realized what kind of existence they were facing. Su-Chen's strength could only be described as terrifying to be able to kill a saint-level void beast so easily. After the 2 saint-level void beasts looked at each other, they turned around and fled. Su-Chen originally wanted to chase after them, but suddenly, a strange voice sounded in his mind. This sound was exactly the same as when he was picking up the shards. Awaken the special skill, Instant Illusion. Using this skill, the doppelganger will be able to cover a distance of 100 meters in a single step. Furthermore, the doppelganger will remain invisible as long as it does not attack. I awakened a special ability. Su-Chen was pleasantly surprised. At first he thought that it was impossible for him to awaken the skill. He didn't expect to awaken the skill after killing a saint-level void beast. It was really a pleasant surprise. Instant Illusion was of little value to others because it was only effective on clones. This was because there were too few cultivators who had clones. It could be said that they could be counted on one's fingers. And Su-Chen just so happened to have a clone. Strictly speaking, his second primordial spirit was a clone. Looking at the 2 fleeing holy level void beasts in the distance, Su-Chen's mouth suddenly curved into a strange arc. Then a white light flashed on his body, and an identical Su-Chen appeared. It was the second primordial spirit. As soon as the second primordial spirit appeared, it disappeared without a trace. After a few breaths, there were 2 screams in the distance. It was the 2 saint-level void beasts that had been killed by the second primordial spirit. Seeing this, the corners of Su-Chen's mouth curled up slightly. After awakening a new skill, he naturally had to verify it. The Instant Mirage ability didn't disappoint him. After a while he put away the second primordial spirit and flew straight to the entrance. This time he entered the void battlefield and not only obtained a large number of shards, but he also awakened a special ability. It could be said that he was very satisfied. As for the source of the danger nearby, because he couldn't find its specific location, he didn't delve into it. Chapter 968. One day later, Su Chen came to the entrance of the passage that he had entered before. However, when he arrived, he was surprised to find that the entrance of the passage had disappeared. There was only one possibility for this to happen, and that was that the entrance of the void battleground had been destroyed by someone. The person who could do this was either a sage-level existence of the myriad clans, or Heaven-Loose Taoist. Or the possibility of them working together was very high. Su Chen pondered for a moment and contacted the intelligent war vehicle. Satoshi, can we travel out of here? Master, the boundary here is too stable. Unless we advance to a higher level, we can't travel through it. The intelligent war vehicle quickly replied. Hearing this, Su Chen's brows furrowed deeply. The intelligent war vehicle was now in the 12th level, which was equivalent to the first stage of the sage level for cultivators. However, if he wanted to advance to the 13th level, he would need a large number of mechanical hearts. However, he only had 4 left. The difference in numbers was too great. In this way, he would not be able to leave here. I was careless. Su Chen sighed. The other party had destroyed the entrance for a clear purpose, which was to trap him in the void battleground. Before entering the void battleground, he had not considered this point. He was indeed careless. However, the void battleground was related to whether he could awaken special abilities. He did not believe that he would be trapped there forever. However, this period would definitely be very long. It might even be hundreds of years. After such a long time, Heaven-Loose Taoist might have advanced to the divine state. He did not want to wait forever. He had to find a way out. Su Chen thought for a moment and opened the pet breeding space to communicate with the Flaming Phoenix. Flaming Phoenix, the passage of the void battleground has been destroyed. Is there a way out of here? The Flaming Phoenix was stunned. It shook its head and said, Master, once the passage of the void battleground is closed, there is no way out. Those who entered the void battleground before couldn't get out in time before the passage was closed. None of them could leave here? Su Chen asked tentatively. Master, the void battleground only opens once every 100 years. Not only did none of those who were trapped here manage to escape, they all disappeared without a trace. The blazing flame phoenix replied. Disappeared? Su Chen muttered to himself. Disappearing here was the same as dying. But after roaming around the void battleground for a few days, he found that although this place was barren, there was always food and water. Anyone who could enter the void battleground was a powerhouse of the same level. How could they die? Could he have been killed? This thought suddenly flashed through Su Chen's mind. Previously, Swiftbird had said that there was a very powerful existence hidden here. It was very likely that this guy was the culprit. But why didn't this guy show himself? While Su Chen was pondering, the Flaming Phoenix reminded him. Master, the portal to the myriad races has been closed. We can go to the Void Beast and take a look. Su Chen had already thought of this. He shook his head and said, The other party isn't a fool. Since they want to trap me, they must have contacted the Void Beast. The passageway over there must have been closed. Oh. The Flaming Phoenix nodded and didn't say anything else. But at this time the Swiftbird suddenly reminded him. Master, that powerful existence has appeared again and is flying towards us. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. He quickly put the Flaming Phoenix and the Swiftbird into the pet-raising space. Then he leaped and flew into the air. Just as he was about to leave the ground, a gigantic mouth suddenly appeared beneath his feet. If Su Chen hadn't reacted quickly, he would have been swallowed. Chapter 969. Level 5 of the Saint Stage. Su Chen was shocked when he felt the terrifying aura from the big mouth under his feet. He had met Wei Yang, who was at level 4 of the Saint Stage. Wei Yang's aura was definitely not as strong as the giant mouth. Therefore, he was sure that the one who attacked him must be a level 5 of the Saint stage. But what he couldn't figure out was that the Void Battleground could suppress cultivation. How could the other party reach level 5 of the Saint stage? All of a sudden, Su Chen found that the power of the domain that suppressed him disappeared. His cultivation returned to level 2 of the Saint stage. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief when his cultivation was no longer suppressed. He shouted coldly, "Who is hiding down there? Come out!" Crack, crack, crack. Along with the sound of the ground breaking, a small demonic beast the size of a palm with a layer of 5-colored flowing light wrapped around its body emerged from the ground. So small. Su Chen was surprised. This small demonic beast had the same aura as the giant mouth just now. This meant that this demonic beast was at level 5 of the Saint stage. However, for such a small body to be able to open such a big mouth, it was indeed somewhat inconceivable. The demonic beast looked at Su Chen and chuckled. "Human, you are much more powerful than I thought." Its voice sounded a little childish. It gave Su Chen the feeling that it was a young demonic beast. "Little thing, it was you who attacked me just now, wasn't it? You'd better give me a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, I won't go easy on you." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and asked coldly. If he hadn't reacted fast enough, he might have been killed. Hearing this, the small demonic beast was stunned. It couldn't figure out why Su Chen dared to threaten it, a level 5 of the Saint stage, when he was only at level 2 of the Saint stage. Was he scared out of his wits? "Human, do you know the consequences of angering me? Aren't you afraid that I will kill you?" The small demonic beast tilted its head and looked at Su Chen with interest. "You want to kill me?" Su Chen sneered and directly used the Atlas shapeshifting technique. After his cultivation soared to stage 3 Saint rank, he spent another 50,000 energy points to exchange for a level 14 all attributes fragment. He once again raised his cultivation to the 4th stage of the Saint realm. Originally, in order to guard against Heaven's Scattering Taoist, he did not want to advance his cultivation so quickly, because Wu Tsang once said that if Heaven's Scattering Taoist sent someone to kill him, he could only send someone who was 2 levels higher than him. Therefore, even if it was just 1 or 2 levels higher, it wouldn't mean much. Moreover, the speed of his improvement was too fast, which made Heaven's Scattering Taoist even more fearful. If things didn't go well, Wu Tsang would tear off all pretenses of cordiality and personally deal with him. However, the unknown demonic beast in front of him was at the 5th stage of the Saint rank. It posed a great threat to him, so he could only choose to raise his level to deal with it. "Human, how did you do it?" Seeing Su Chen rise by 2 levels in an instant, the little demonic beast was stunned. "Do I need to explain to you how I did it?" Su Chen snorted and was about to make a move. The small demonic beast suddenly shouted, "Human, don't do it. I surrender." Although it was a holy beast at level 5 of the Saint stage, it was not good at fighting. It had already noticed Su Chen's powerful combat strength. If Su Chen was only at level 2 of the Saint stage, it was absolutely sure that it could defeat Su Chen. However, now that Su Chen had advanced to level 4 of the Saint stage, even 2 of it together would not be a match for him. Instead of being abused by Su Chen, it was better to surrender. Moreover, it was absolutely sure that Su Chen would not be willing to kill it. Chapter 970. Surrendered? Su Chen was stunned. A demonic beast in the 5th stage of the Saint rank surrendered without even daring to attack? Wasn't this too cowardly? "It's not impossible for me to let you go, but you have to be my spiritual pet and have a certain level of ability." Su Chen stared at the demonic beast and said coldly, although the demonic beast was in the 5th stage of the Saint rank, if it didn't have a certain level of ability, he wouldn't take it seriously. It would be better to kill it and pick up its fragments. The demonic beast was stunned. It couldn't understand why Su Chen wouldn't take it seriously when a demonic beast in the 5th stage of the Saint rank surrendered on its own accord. However, under Su Chen's gaze, it didn't say anything extreme. Instead, it said in a negotiating tone, "I don't like restrictions, so I can't be your spiritual pet. But I can cooperate with you." Cooperation? Su Chen sneered. The demonic beast obviously didn't understand the current situation. It even dared to talk about conditions with him. If he didn't teach it a lesson, it wouldn't know why the flowers were so red. Su Chen gradually narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Sensing the hostility in Su Chen's eyes, the demonic beast was startled. It quickly said, "Wait a minute, listen to me first." "Say it." Su Chen snorted. If the demonic beast didn't give him a satisfactory answer, and was teasing him, he would punish it. "I can help you awaken special abilities," the demonic beast said directly. "What?" Su Chen was shocked. He said involuntarily, "The special abilities of the people who entered the void battleground are all related to you?" If the demonic beast really had such an ability, it would definitely be a treasure. Su Chen couldn't stay calm anymore. "Yes." The demonic beast nodded and said affirmatively, "Those who awakened special abilities, including you, were all given by me randomly." Su Chen took a deep breath and asked, "How did you do it?" This was a serious matter. He had to figure it out. He absolutely could not be fooled by this little demonic beast. "Because I am an awakened divine beast." The awakened divine beast's ability is to help others awaken special abilities, the little beast explained. Awakening a mythical beast? This was the first time Su Chen had heard of this. He muttered to himself for a moment before he asked doubtfully, "So you're a divine beast?" Compared to a cultivator, a divine beast was like a deity realm expert. However, this little demonic beast was only at the 5th stage of the saint rank. How could it have the demeanor of a divine beast? "I used to be a divine beast. However, I was severely injured in the last Void War, and my cultivation base fell. Thus, I have been hiding in the Void battlefield," the awakened divine beast said. Su Chen didn't know whether the other party was telling the truth or not. He quietly opened the pet breeding space and contacted Flaming Phoenix. "Little Flame, have you ever heard of an awakened mythical beast?" The Flaming Phoenix thought for a moment before replying. "Master, there are some rumors about awakened mythological beasts in our Holy Devil tribe." Su Chen focused and didn't interrupt Flaming Phoenix. Rumor has it that although an awakened mythical beast's cultivation base has reached the deity realm, it is not good at fighting and its strength is very weak. Its biggest characteristic is that it can help others awaken special abilities. This is somewhat similar to the Void battlefield, the Flaming Phoenix continued. Hearing this, Su Chen suddenly moved. According to what Flaming Phoenix said, this little demonic beast in front of him was basically an awakened mythical beast. In order to be more certain, Su Chen asked again, "Little Flame, when did the Void battlefield appear?" The little demonic beast said that it entered the Void battlefield because it was injured in the Void War 10,000 years ago. If the two matched, it would prove that the little demonic beast was indeed an awakened mythical beast. Chapter 971. About 10,000 years ago, the Flaming Phoenix replied. Su Chen nodded and then closed the pet feeding space. Then he looked at the awakened mythical beast and said lightly, "I've confirmed your identity. You didn't lie. However, I still say the same thing. If you want to live, you have to become my spiritual pet." After all, the awakened mythical beast was a stage 5 sacred level. No matter how weak its combat power was, it was still a great threat. He would not keep such an unstable factor by his side. Of course, after knowing the ability of the awakened mythical beast, he was determined to get it. The reason why he was so thorough was to use peaceful means before resorting to force. If the awakened mythical beast knew what was good for it, everything would be fine. If he didn't know what was good for him, he would use his methods to force him. In short, the awakened mythical beast had no choice. "Human, don't go too far. I'm a mythical beast." Seeing that Su Chen had been threatening it, the awakened mythical beast said angrily, "You don't know what's good for you." Su Chen snorted and instantly released his mind power to crush the awakened mythical beast. "Human, you're despicable." The awakened mythical beast struggled hard, but it could not break free from Su Chen's mind power. What he saw was that Su Chen had already rushed in front of him like a killing god. The awakened mythical beast was scared out of its wits and shouted, "Don't do it, we can talk about it." Su Chen ignored it and stretched out a big hand. Holding the awakened mythical beast in the palm of his hand, he said coldly, "I'll give you one last chance. If you don't agree, I'll crush you." The awakened mythical beast trembled like a deflated balloon and said in a trembling voice, "I agree." Under Su Chen's strong pressure, it finally compromised. Even if it was very unwilling in its heart, there was nothing it could do. Su Chen was overjoyed, but he held back his laughter. Then, he quickly took out 5 bottles of pet potion and ordered the awakened mythical beast to swallow them. The awakened mythical beast's level was too high. Su Chen was afraid that the pet potion would not work, so he took out 5 bottles at once. Looking at the 5 bottles of unknown potions, the awakened mythical beast was a little reluctant. However, after Su Chen's cold gaze swept over them, they still obediently swallowed them all. "Master." Soon, the awakened mythological beast's eyes became docile, and it became much more intimate with Su Chen. Seeing this, Su Chen's lips curled up slightly. Then he loosened his grip on the awakened divine beast and put away the Atlas shapeshifting technique. The awakened mythological beast had already been tamed, so there was no need to guard against it. "Little Xing, how do you help others awaken their abilities?" Su Chen asked. This was very important. If he could figure it out, he could help the people around him awaken special abilities. "Master, I've absorbed some energy, and it's possible for me to generate an ability that I can give to others at random." The awakened mythical beast said honestly. "Absorbing energy?" Su Chen pondered for a moment before probing. "Is it absorbing the energy left behind by the dead cultivators?" Tan Lin and the other 2, including him, had obtained special abilities after killing the void beast. After some cultivators died, some of their energy would be left behind. Therefore, he had his suspicions. It's possible to absorb the remaining energy of the cultivators or absorb the life spirit liquid, the awakened mythical beast explained. Su Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. He had the spring of life in his hands, so he could continuously convert it into life spirit liquid. If he gave it to the awakened mythical beast to swallow, wouldn't he be able to obtain many special abilities? Chapter 972. Xiaoxing, you can randomly give special abilities to others. Does it have to be within a certain range? Su Chen asked. Yes. The awakened mythical beast answered affirmatively. Su Chen nodded slightly. In this way, as long as the awakened mythical beast was placed in the pet-raising space, or chaos space, and fed it the life spirit liquid, it could continuously produce special abilities. Everyone would benefit from it and obtain special abilities. Master, although I can continuously produce special abilities, each person can only obtain one at most, the awakened mythical beast reminded. Only one time, Su Chen pondered. Originally, he wanted to take the opportunity to awaken a few more special abilities. Now it seemed that this hope was shattered. However, he was not too disappointed. After all, the instant phantom that he awakened was enough to satisfy him. Master, if I can advance to the God realm, I can derive a great theurgy and give this great theurgy to a designated person, the awakened mythical beast said again. Great theurgy. Su Chen was a little moved. The lethality of a theurgy was often destructive. Although he had many means, only the 10,000 lights 10 shadows killing technique, and the fusion of ice and fire magic could be considered a great theurgy at most. Compared to a great theurgy, there was still a big gap. As for the 10,000 swords in one, it could be considered a great theurgy. However, it could only be called a great theurgy when it was cultivated to the 3rd stage. At this stage, the 100 swords in one was only a great theurgy. Xiaoxing, how can you quickly advance to a mythical beast? Su Chen asked. A great theurgy was very attractive to him. Absorbing enough energy can only allow me to advance slowly. This will take a long time. If you want to advance quickly, there is a shortcut, but it is too difficult and almost impossible, the awakened mythical beast said slowly. Tell me. Su Chen asked. If there was a shortcut, of course he would choose it. Devour the corpse of a mythical beast, the awakened mythical beast said directly. Since the Great War 10,000 years ago, almost all the God Realm powerhouses had fallen. Even if there were still mythical beasts in the world, their numbers would be pitifully small. Furthermore, divine beasts were extremely powerful. How could he kill and devour them? Therefore, in the eyes of the awakened divine beast, this shortcut was a waste of time. The corpse of a divine beast? Su Chen's mind slowly turned. Suddenly, he thought of the heavenly altar Huanyu. When he was in the zombie country, the level 3 saint-level zombie had told him that there was a seriously injured divine beast in the Temple of Heaven. If he wanted the awakened mythical beast to reach the divine realm quickly, he would have to make a trip to the heavenly altar Huanyu. However, the Temple of Heaven was a dangerous place after all. Even if they wanted to enter, they had to be fully prepared. Moreover, he still had a lot of things to do. He had to deal with them first before he could go to the heaven altar Huanyu. Gathering his thoughts, Su Chen asked, Shaoxing, is there any way to leave this place? Now that the awakened mythological beast had been subdued, the top priority was to leave this place as soon as possible. I know a relatively weak spot, but I need a powerful attack to break it. The awakened mythical beast thought for a moment and replied. Let's go to the place you said now, Su Chen urged. What he didn't lack the most was powerful attack. The power of the combination of the ice and fire magic cube and the 100 swords in one was enough to destroy everything. Yes. The awakened mythical beast didn't hesitate and led Su Chen straight in a direction. Chapter 973. One day later, Su Chen and the awakened divine beast came to a mountain stream. It was dark below and they didn't know where it led to. Master, the weakest part of this world is at the bottom of this mountain stream. The awakened divine beast reminded. Go down. Su Chen glanced at the mountain stream and flew down with the awakened divine beast. When they were about to touch the ground, they stopped. Shaoxing, is it okay to attack the ground below? Su Chen asked. Yes. The awakened divine beast affirmed and said, Master, you must use your strongest attack so that you can break it in one blow. In its view, although Su Chen's combat power was strong, it was really hard to say whether he could shatter the domain here. Su Chen nodded and signaled the awakened divine beast to step back. Then he took a deep breath and summoned all 100 thunder sacred swords. Ever since he cultivated 100 swords into one, he hadn't had a chance to use it. Now it was a good time to test its power. 100 sacred swords. Looking at the lightning in the sky and feeling the terrifying energy fluctuations from the sacred swords, the awakened divine beast was completely stunned. He had guessed that Su Chen should have many trump cards, but he never thought that he would have such a powerful trump card. There were a total of 100 saint swords, and their combined might was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. However, was there really anyone in the world who could control 100 sacred swords? The awakened divine beast stopped breathing and looked at Su Chen with his eyes wide open. He wanted to see if Su Chen could really do it. Su Chen's expression was solemn as he reached out and pointed down. The 100 lightning-type sacred swords that were dancing above his head charged down together. Furthermore, as they flew, they continued to fuse together. When they came into contact with the ground, they turned into a gigantic longsword that was over 100 feet in length and covered with lightning. Oh my God! They actually merged together. The awakened divine beast opened his mouth wide and was shocked beyond words. He even thought that if the sword slashed down on it, it would directly turn into ashes. Boom! In the next moment, the giant lightning sword slammed into the ground, creating an earth-shattering boom. The entire void battleground seemed to tremble. As countless pieces of rubble flew in all directions, a 10-meter-wide hole appeared beneath the lightning sword. Outside the cave was a vast and boundless starry sky. He really did it. The awakened mythical beast clicked its tongue and quickly reminded Su Chen. Master, we have to leave this place as soon as possible. Although there was a hole in the ground, the hole was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. It wouldn't take long for the hole to fully recover. He had to leave as soon as possible. Go. Su Chen also noticed this. He put away the 100 holy swords and flew straight toward the cave entrance. The awakened mythological beast followed closely behind Su Chen. When the man and the beast came out of the void battleground, they saw that the hole had disappeared. Suchen heaved a sigh of relief and narrowed his eyes. Then he kept the awakened mythological beast in the pet breeding space and took out the intelligent war chariot. He ordered, "Satoshi, go to the city that we entered earlier." He wanted to see who destroyed the passageway and wanted to trap him in the void battleground. Yes. The intelligent war chariot received the order and flew quickly in a direction. In less than an hour, they had arrived in front of the city. However, the city had already been reduced to a pile of rubble. Beside the ruins, there were 5 people of the mutated tribe chatting and laughing. These 5 people of the mutated tribe were all at the sage level. Chapter 974. Suchen could guess that the 5 of them were the ones who had destroyed the passageway. Then he quietly walked towards the 5 of them. Although the 5 of them were chatting enthusiastically, they were saint-level experts after all, and soon sensed that someone was approaching them. "Who are you?" One of the saint-level experts of the undead race stared at Suchen and questioned him coldly. Since it was the first time that he had seen Suchen, he was not sure of Suchen's identity. Suchen. However, at this moment, one of the saint-level experts of the god race next to him roared in shock. When the other 4 heard Suchen's name, their faces turned extremely sullen, and their bodies trembled slightly. "How did you get out of the void battle?" A saint-level expert of the night demon race stared at Suchen in disbelief. He really couldn't figure out how Suchen had gotten out of the void battle when the 2 passageways to enter and exit the void battle had been destroyed. "It seems that the 5 of you are the ones who want to harm me. Do you know what happens to those who harm me?" Suchen narrowed his eyes and glanced at the 5 of them one by one as he said coldly. Hearing this, the 5 of them took a step back in unison. They were naturally well aware of Suchen's style of doing things. Almost everyone who offended him was killed. They knew that they had formed a feud with Suchen, and if they wanted to live, the only way was to kill Suchen. The 5 of them looked at each other and tacitly attacked Suchen at the same time. "You guys don't know what's good for you." Suchen sneered and stood still on the spot, as if he didn't take the 5 saint-level experts seriously at all. Judging from the aura emitted by the 5 of them, the one with the highest cultivation level was the saint-level expert of the god race who had reached the 3rd stage of the saint level. The other 4 were all at the 2nd stage of the saint level. He had now advanced to the 3rd stage of the saint level, and because of the ancient godfiend body, even if he stood still, the other party wouldn't be able to cause any harm to him unless they had a particularly powerful attack. Therefore, the 5 saint-level experts were actually no different from ants in his eyes. "Go to hell." The saint-level expert of the night demon race rushed at the front and smashed down on Suchen with a bronze hammer in his hand. The bronze hammer seemed ordinary, but it was actually a saint-level artifact. Its biggest feature was that it was heavy enough to weigh up to 30,000 kilograms. Once it hit its target, he was confident that he could kill Suchen with one blow. The divine race saints also released their spirit power, trying to restrain Suchen and create an opportunity for the night demon saints. The saint-level experts of the saint-level experts of the saint-level experts were attacking Suchen's face. Saint-level expert god. The saint-level experts of the saint-level experts god saint-level saint levels? Just as the saint-level hammer of the night demon race was about to smash down, a shrill scream suddenly came from behind. The one who screamed was none other than the saint-level expert of the god race. The other 4 saint-level experts of the saint-level experts of the night demon race were shocked and stopped attacking Suchen. They all turned around and looked back. In their sight, another Suchen was strangling the saint-level expert of the god race. But wasn't Suchen right in front of them? Why was there another Suchen? Faced with this strange scene, the 4 saint-level experts of the night demon race felt a chill down their spines and became even more terrified. They still felt a little confident to deal with one Suchen. Faced with 2 Suchen, they could only run for their lives. "Are you very surprised?" Suchen smiled faintly. Just now he had summoned his 2nd primordial spirit and used the instant phantom to let his 2nd primordial spirit sneak in front of the saint-level expert of the god race and capture him. Chapter 975. There was a crisp crack. As soon as Su Chen finished speaking, his second primordial spirit broke the god race's neck. Then he charged back. Fight him to the death. Although the night demon saint was terrified to the extreme, he still gritted his teeth and roared, continuing to smash down on Su Chen with his bronze hammer. Su Chen smiled disdainfully. Then he stretched out his hand and grabbed the bronze hammer. Seeing this, the night demon saint was overjoyed and roared, "Go to hell!" The divine weapon weighed 30,000 kilograms. Su Chen dared to use his physical body to block it, which was tantamount to throwing an egg at a rock. In his mind, there was even the scene of Su Chen being smashed into meat paste by the hammer. However, the scene that unfolded in the next moment almost caused his jaw to drop. Not only did Su Chen easily block the attack of the Saint Artifact Copper Hammer, but he also snatched the Saint Artifact away. Just how powerful is he? The Night Demon Saint was completely stunned by Su Chen. But at this moment, Su Chen used Drunken Life. After enveloping the Night Demon Clan man, he smashed his head with one punch. Bang! With a loud explosion, the Night Demon Saint's headless body fell to the ground. He's too powerful. Witnessing this scene, the remaining 3 sages were scared out of their wits. From Su Chen's attack to the Night Demon Saint being killed, only a few breaths had passed. Su Chen's powerful strength was fully displayed. Moreover, they could clearly sense that the 2 Su Chen's auras were the same. They were both at level 3 of the Saint level. This made them even more terrified. They couldn't even defeat Su Chen, who was at level 2 of the Saint level, let alone level 3 of the Saint level. Moreover, there were 2 Su Chens. After the Night Demon Saints were killed, the remaining 3 saints fled in panic. However, how could they escape from Su Chen's grasp? In less than a minute, Su Chen and his second primordial spirit had killed all 3 of them. After collecting the fragments, Su Chen took back his second primordial spirit and took out the intelligent war chariot. After getting on the car, he immediately ordered the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, go to Maguang City." There was going to be an auction in Maguang City in the near future, and it was likely that there would be a spirit gathering stone there. He didn't want to miss this opportunity. 2 days later, the intelligent war chariot came close to Maguang City. Just like the last time, a large number of non-human beings had gathered outside the city. Su Chen put away the intelligent war chariot and walked straight to the city gate. There were too many people who wanted to enter Maguang City, and if they kept queuing up, who knows how long they would have to wait. With his status, it wouldn't be a problem for him to cut the queue and enter the city. Su Chen arrived at the city gate. Just as he was about to enter, he suddenly discovered a huge sign erected on the side. On it were clearly written the words "Human race is forbidden to enter." Su Chen was taken aback for a moment, and then flames of anger rose all over his body. The last time he came, because of the discrimination of the fire demon race against the human race, he killed a saint of the fire demon race on the spot. Originally, he thought that the fire demon race would never dare to do such a thing again. Who would have thought that the fire demon race would go from bad to worse, and even set up a sign? This was clearly challenging his bottom line. Boom! Su Chen punched out, smashing the sign into pieces, and then strode towards the city gate. If the fire demon race didn't give a satisfactory explanation this time, he didn't mind completely eradicating Maguang City. Chapter 976. This sudden loud noise immediately attracted the attention of the people around. When they saw a young human shattering the wooden sign with one punch, they were all very surprised. Indeed, the words written on the wooden sign discriminated against the human race. But the human race was weak. The fire demon race had many powerhouses and had a place in the void. Even if they bullied you, you still have to accept it. Su Chen's act of directly smashing the sign, in the eyes of the other races, was an act of courting death. He would soon be beheaded by the fire demon race on the spot. However, when Su Chen made a mess in Maguang City last time, there were some other races present. When they saw Su Chen's appearance, they suddenly exclaimed, "He is Su Chen of the human race." What? He is the killing god Su Chen? The other races around were all shocked. Su Chen hasn't been in the void for a long time, but his reputation has long spread in the void. In addition, in recent days he had killed many saint ranks in the void. His reputation was even more well-known. After learning the true identity of Su Chen, the people outside Maguang City kept quiet out of fear. All of the outsiders looked at Su Chen with reverence in their eyes. They were now looking forward to how the fire demon race would deal with Su Chen. Tell Huaqin to come out and see me. Walking to the city gate, Su Chen glanced coldly at a guard and said in an unquestionable tone, "Yes." Under the gaze of Su Chen, the guard of the fire demon race was drenched in cold sweat and turned around to run into the city. Not long after, several people of the fire demon race came out of the city. The one in the lead was a middle-aged man with an afro hairstyle and a strong body like a small mountain. Huaqin, who had dealt with Su Chen last time, was following the middle-aged man. "Su Chen, we spared your life last time. And this time you dare to come to Maguang City to find trouble. Do you really think that our fire demon race won't kill you?" When the fire demon clan people came to the city gate, Huaqin yelled at Su Chen arrogantly, "I'll kill you first." Su Chen snorted coldly, then turned to the middle-aged man from the fire goblin race and said in a low voice, "You are the city lord of Maguang City, Huan, right?" Last time, Huaqin was like a pug in front of him, not even daring to breathe loudly. This time he was extremely arrogant. It was obvious that he had found a backer. And this backer was Maguang City's city lord, Huan, a 4th-level Saint Realm mage and evolver, a super powerhouse. "That's right, I'm Huan." Huan narrowed his eyes and coldly said, "Su Chen, the last time I wasn't around, you acted recklessly in Maguang City, and even killed a sacred stage powerhouse of my clan. You must give me an explanation today." "Give you an explanation?" Su Chen sneered. He hadn't asked Maguang City to give him an explanation yet, but the other party was already questioning him. This was something he didn't expect. It could be seen that Huan was a very arrogant person, and obviously didn't put him in his eyes. Su Chen curled his lips and said lightly, "I, Su Chen, have always acted without scruples. You want me to give you an explanation? Are you worthy?" As soon as this remark came out, there was a lot of discussion in the surroundings. After all, Huan was a 4th-level Saint Realm with dual professions. He had been in the void for many years. No matter who saw him, they had to give him some face. But Su Chen wantonly humiliated him in front of so many people. It could be seen that Su Chen didn't put Huan in his eyes. Su Chen and Huan were both powerhouses among powerhouses. The former had the name of Killing God. Since his debut, he had killed countless powerhouses and no one could suppress him. The latter was a veteran powerhouse in the void, a 4th-level Saint Realm with dual professions. When the two of them collided, who would be stronger? Everyone at the scene was looking forward to it. Chapter 977. Creek. Huan gritted his teeth and glared at Su Chen fiercely. He said coldly, "Su Chen, no one can suppress you in the mainland. However, in the void, you can't do whatever you want." Although Su Chen was infamous, he was only a Stage 2 martial sage. He was confident that he could kill Su Chen if he went all out. "So what if I do? What can you do about it?" Su Chen sneered. Did Huan think that he could act tough in front of him just because he was a Stage 4 martial sage with 2 professions? What a joke. "Since you want to die, I'll grant you your wish." Huan's face was cold. Suddenly, a flaming saber appeared in his hand, and he pointed it at Su Chen. A top-grade sacred weapon. Flaming saber. Fire Castellan is serious. Everyone, get out of the way. The moment Huan pulled out his saber, the surrounding foreign tribesmen were terrified and retreated. In the blink of an eye, they had retreated a few miles. Su Chen glanced at the flaming saber and raised his eyebrows. He could feel that the flaming saber was emitting a strong fire magical power. The ability to infuse magical power into the saber was very different from the enchanted saber. Since Huan had used his saber, Su Chen took out the enchanted saber as well. "You want to compete with me in saber skills?" Huan was stunned for a moment before he sneered. "You will pay for your arrogance." As soon as he finished speaking, he held the sword high above his head with both hands, then aimed at Su Chun and slashed down. In the next moment, a thick fire dragon opened its mouth and pounced at Su Chun. Everywhere it passed, the temperature rose as if it was burning the air. Su Chun, you can die now. Seeing Hua Huan use her killer move, a cold smile appeared on Hua Qin's face. It was as if he was treating Su Chun as a dead man. What a terrifying fire sorcery! Seeing this scene, the outsiders in the distance cried out in alarm. They all stared at Su Chun with wide eyes. They all wanted to know how Su Chun was going to break this terrifying fire-type spell technique. Su Chun's expression was calm, without the slightest hint of panic on his face. Just as the fire dragon flew over, the enchanted divine saber quickly slashed out. Immediately after, a blue torrent with terrifying energy surged forward and collided heavily with the fire dragon. After a brief stalemate, the fire dragon's huge body was torn apart by the blue torrent. Following that, it charged toward Hua Huan. How is this possible? Hua Huan cried out involuntarily. He really couldn't figure out how his strongest killing move could be so easily broken by Su Chun, and still have the strength to continue attacking him. Could it be that Su Chun was so strong that no one could defeat him? Hua Huan didn't have time to think. When the blue torrent shot over, he took out a shield and blocked in front of him. Rumble! The blue torrent hit the shield and made a loud sound. Under the huge impact, Hua Huan took a few steps back before he could stabilize himself. Although he wasn't hurt, his expression was extremely ugly. In the case of using his trump card, not only was he unable to do anything to Su Chun, but he was also defeated several steps back. His face was covered in dirt, and he had lost all his face. Su Chun is indeed the god of killing. He's too strong. At the same time, there was a heated discussion in the surroundings. They all saw clearly that Hua Huan was suppressed by Su Chun's casual attack, even though he had used all his strength. It was obvious that Su Chun's true strength was definitely above Hua Huan's. Chapter 978. Why is he so strong? Hua Qin's face turned pale when he saw that Hua Huan was no match for Su Chun. He could not help but feel uneasy. Su Chun had said that he would kill him. If Hua Huan could not withstand it, wouldn't he really be dead? Hua Huan came back to his senses and looked at Su Chun in a daze. He said in a muffled voice, "You've advanced to stage 3 sage stage." Hua Qin had previously assured him that Su Chun was only a stage 2 sage stage cultivator. He had only dared to attack Su Chun after knowing this. If he had known that Su Chun was a stage 3 sage stage cultivator, he would not have foolishly provoked Su Chun. It was too late for regrets now. Governor, he was indeed only a stage 2 sage stage cultivator. Hua Qin explained with a bitter expression. Shut up. Hua Huan shouted coldly. He wanted nothing more than to slap Hua Qin to death. Hua Huan suppressed the anger in his heart and said to Su Chun, "Su Chun, you are indeed very strong. However, it will not be easy for you to defeat me. Why don't you stop now?" Since he could not defeat Su Chun, he would only be asking for trouble if he continued to fight. Therefore, he wanted to reconcile with Su Chun. However, as a famous expert, he still had to consider his reputation. Even if he admitted defeat, his tone was still arrogant. Su Chun looked at Hua Huan as if he was looking at an idiot. Then he said indifferently, "You can stop if you want, but you have to agree to one of my conditions." "Speak." Hua Huan's heart skipped a beat. As long as Su Chun's conditions were not too excessive, he would agree without hesitation. "Kneel down and kowtow to me 300 times, then become my slave. Then, I will spare your worthless life." The corners of Su Chun's mouth curled up in a mocking smile as he spoke slowly. He would not let Hua Huan go. This fellow had discriminated against the human race and then attacked him. Regardless of which crime he committed, it was a capital offense that could not be forgiven. As soon as he said that, the surrounding outsiders all looked at Hua Huan. Su Chun was clearly humiliating Hua Huan. This request was even harder to accept than killing Hua Huan. In that case, would Hua Huan compromise or retaliate? "Su Chun, you've gone too far. Do you really want to fight to the death with me?" Hua Huan roared with a sinister expression. As for Su Chen's humiliating request, he would never accept it. You want to fight me to the death? Su Chen smiled disdainfully. With a move of his foot, he disappeared from where he was like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was right in front of Huaqin. Previously, he had said that the first person he wanted to kill was Huaqin. Huaqin didn't expect Su Chen to attack him. He was so scared that his face turned green, and he retreated with all his might. However, Su Chen had already released his spiritual power, and firmly bound him in place, unable to move. Huaqin was terrified as he watched Su Chen choke him. Su Chen, if you dare to kill him, don't even think about leaving this place alive. Huan threatened angrily. Huaqin was a stage 3 sacred rank expert. Once he was killed, it would be a huge loss to the fire demon tribe. Crack! Su Chen broke Huaqin's neck without hesitation. Then he looked at Huan and said mockingly, I won't leave until I've killed all of you from the fire demon tribe. Under Su Chen's gaze, Huan shuddered and unconsciously retreated. Su Chen kept the fragments that had exploded, and was about to kill Huan. Suddenly, a loud roar came from afar. Su Chen, don't be so arrogant. Su Chen looked in the direction of the voice and saw a mountain-like figure flying over. When the figure came closer, he realized that it was a titan giant that was dozens of feet tall. Chapter 979. Moreover, judging from the aura of the Titan giant, his cultivation had reached stage 4 sacred level. It's the holy ancestor of the Titan tribe Lan Yu. Gasps of surprise could be heard from all around. Lan Yu was famous in the void. It was rumored that he had killed 2 stage 5 sacred level void beasts, and was known to be invincible among those of the same level. You're here to stand up for the fire goblin tribe. Su Chen looked at Lan Yu and said calmly. Although he had killed a few titans, they were all below the sacred level. Was it worth it for Lan Yu to come out personally for a few ants? I'm here for another purpose. Lan Yu snorted and said, Su Chen, as long as you hand over the 2 spiritual herbs, I won't kill you. Instead, I'll give you some benefits. 2 spiritual herbs? Su Chen frowned and suddenly thought of the immortal essence grass. You're sent by heaven-scattering Taoist? Su Chen's face darkened. The conflict between him and heaven-scattering Taoist had reached an irreconcilable stage. He would never hand over the immortal essence grass. Moreover, even if he handed over the immortal essence grass, heaven-scattering Taoist would not let him go. Since you know, why don't you hand it over obediently? Lan Yu's expression was arrogant as he looked at Su Chen with contempt. Su Chen was notorious, but Lan Yu did not seem to take it to heart. Obviously, he had absolute confidence in himself. Brother Lan, Su Chen is too arrogant. Why don't you join forces with me to kill him? Huan had an idea and suggested. Since Su Chen did not intend to let him go, they could join forces with Lan Yu to kill him. He's just an ant. If he doesn't agree, I'll kill him with one hand. Lan Yu replied with disdain. Then he glanced at Su Chen and threatened. Su Chen, a wise man submits to circumstances. Don't force me to make a move. I'll let you know the consequences of being arrogant later. Su Chen snorted coldly. With a sudden movement, he charged towards Huan. Huan was already prepared. Just as Su Chen was about to attack, she slashed down with her raging Inferno Divine Blade. However, before he could condense a fire element spell, he suddenly felt a ripple in his soul, and he instantly fell into a state of confusion. Su Chen unleashed a drunken life dream, and while Huan was still in a daze, he raised his sword and slashed out. In an instant, a black vortex that was about 3 meters wide floated above Huan's head and slowly descended. Ah! Huan had just struggled out of the illusion when she was torn apart by the black whirlpool. All that was left was a mournful scream that lingered for a long time. Hiss! Seeing this scene, the sound of cold air being sucked in could be heard from all around. Su Chen killing Huan in the blink of an eye was something that no one had expected. A 4th-level Saint Realm expert couldn't even resist a single move from Su Chen. Su Chen's strength shocked everyone present. At the same time, It also made them realize that Su Chen didn't use his full strength when he fought with Hua Huan earlier. If they were to really fight, Tu Hua Huan wouldn't be a match for Su Chen even if they worked together. Lan Yu's eyelids twitched violently. Su Chen's strength was also beyond his expectations. It wasn't difficult for him to kill Hua Huan, but he definitely couldn't do it as easily as Su Chen. With such a comparison, he was no longer confident that he could defeat Su Chen. Big guy, Hua Huan is already dead. We can have a good fight now. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. Lan Yu swallowed his saliva and said in a muffled voice, Su Chen, heaven-scattering Taoist strength isn't something that you can fight against. You'd better hand over the item obediently. After witnessing Su Chen's strength, he was no longer willing to fight with Su Chen. Chapter 980. I'll kill Tian-san sooner or later. Now I'll kill you first. Su Chen snorted coldly and rushed toward Lan Yu. Arrogant. Lan Yu gritted his teeth and punched toward Su Chen with a fist the size of a millstone. Su Chen did not flinch. His palm glowed with a faint golden light as he punched toward Lan Yu. Is Su Chen crazy? How dare he confront Lan Hai head-on? Seeing that Su Chen had chosen to confront Lan Hai head-on, the crowd exclaimed in surprise. Titans relied on their own strength the most. A titan like Lan Yu, who was at stage 4 of the sage level, was powerful enough to destroy the world. Su Chen was only a human, and was at stage 3 of the sage level. He was inferior to Lan Hai in every aspect. Why did he do this? Lan Hai did not expect that Su Chen would dare to do this. He was stunned for a moment, and then became overjoyed. In his opinion, Su Chen's action was like hitting a stone with an egg. He could take this opportunity to kill him. Go to hell. Lan Hai used all the strength in his body and smashed his fist down heavily. Boom. 2 fists of different sizes collided with each other and made an earth-shattering sound. What followed was the sound of bones breaking. Lan Hai's huge fist broke apart quickly and extended to his entire arm. In the blink of an eye, his entire arm turned into powder. Su Chen smashed Lan Hai's arm with one punch. Oh my God, how is this possible? Witnessing this unbelievable scene, the surrounding outsiders were all dumbfounded. Looking at Su Chen's eyes, they were full of deep awe and horror. It was not until this moment that they realized that they had underestimated Su Chen. Su Chen's strength was far beyond their understanding. Ah! Lan Hai looked at his missing arm and was stunned for a moment. Then he screamed in pain. You think you can compete with me in strength just because you're big? Su Chen glanced at Lan Hai and sneered. Although he was a level lower than Lan Yu, he was still a level lower. However, with the ancient godfiend body, his body was far stronger than his peers. In addition, he had used the golden scales of the arm and the heaven-reaching 100-fold strength technique. It was reasonable for him to blow up Lan Yu's arm with one punch. Su Chen, I was wrong. I'll leave now. Lan Yu's eyes were filled with fear as he shouted at Su Chen. The power that he was so proud of couldn't even withstand a single blow from Su Chen. How could he have the courage to continue fighting with Su Chen? Do you think I'll stop just because you say so? Su Chen smiled contemptuously. He then activated Speed War Boots and rushed to Lan Yu like a ghost, ruthlessly wreaking havoc. For a moment, the sound of bones breaking and Lan Yu screaming could be heard. What terrifying strength! What a cruel method! All of the surrounding foreign beings began to tremble violently upon seeing this. They could see clearly that Su Chen had the chance to kill Lan Yu in seconds, but he chose to torture Lan Yu and make him wish he was dead. He showed his cruel side to the fullest. He's indeed the god of massacre. He's too strong, too arrogant, and too cruel. Many foreign races lamented with lingering fear. With his last scream, Lan Yu was finally tortured to death. At this moment he was almost chopped into 8 pieces and died in a horrible way. The reason why Su Chen wanted to use this method to kill Lan Yu was mainly for others to see. He wanted the world, especially the subordinates of heaven-scattering Taoist, to understand one thing. Whoever dared to provoke him would not only die, but also be tortured to death. Chapter 981. After killing Lan Yu, Suchen turned around and swept his gaze towards Maguang City, his eyes exuding a bone-chilling coldness. The several fire demon race saint-level experts who came out with Hua Huan were scared out of their wits. Suchen, Senior, we were wrong, please spare our lives. A fire demon race saint-level expert knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Fire demon race. There is no need for it to exist. Suchen said indifferently. With a move of his feet, he charged forward. After easily dealing with several fire demon race saint-level experts, he opened the chaos space and pet raising space, and summoned a group of powerhouses and spirit pets. What does he want to do? Seeing Suchen summon so many powerhouses at once, the surrounding foreign races were shocked. Junior brother Su, what are your orders? Lung Mai narrowed his eyes and glanced around before turning to Suchen and said, Massacre the city. Suchen waved his hand and pointed at Maguang City. Lung Mai and the others did not hesitate and rushed into Maguang City. They have been with Suchen for a long time and have done this kind of thing many times in the mainland. It can be said that they are familiar with it. Suchen wants to massacre Maguang City. The surrounding foreign races were shocked. Although there have long been rumors that Suchen wants to exterminate a city, witnessing it with their own eyes still made them feel extremely shocked. At this moment, they were deeply aware that in the void, no matter who they offend, they can't offend Suchen. Once they provoke Suchen, they are likely to be exterminated. Suchen's move was to deter the small fries. Let all the forces in the void understand one thing. Whether it is the mainland or the void, he Suchen is not in existence that can be provoked. Maguang City was a good example of killing the chicken to warn the monkey. Soon, there were mournful screams coming from Maguang City. After Hua Huan and the other saint-level experts were killed, the remaining fire demon race couldn't resist the attack of Suchen and the others, and were completely reduced to lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Maguang City was finished. Some of the outsiders sighed faintly. Maguang City has stood in the void for thousands of years, and has experienced several sieges from the void beasts. The most difficult time was when they were besieged for 10 years, but they never broke through. Who would have thought that after provoking Suchen, he would be reduced to ashes? It really made people sigh. After pausing for a moment, the group of strange races quickly left the place. Maguang City was about to be destroyed, so there was no point in staying here. More importantly, it was rumored that Suchen was especially fond of killing people of other races. If they were disliked by Suchen, they wouldn't even know how they died. After the crowd left, the massacre in Maguang City continued to unfold. The massacre lasted for more than 2 hours before it finally ended. After collecting the fragments, Suchen returned to the intelligent war chariot and left with satisfaction. The harvest from the massacre this time was incomparably huge. Just the fragments alone were close to 200,000, and there were also many high-grade void energy stones. There were also more than a dozen spirit gathering stones that Suchen valued the most. In this way, the 9-spirit thunder flame was promoted to a saint flame. When it was promoted to a saint flame, he could study the fusion of the 3 elements. With this killer move, his strength would inevitably rise by a level. In addition, he also unexpectedly obtained a saint-level puppet of the mechanical race. Adding the previous one, he had a total of 3. Satoshi, go to the Void Fortress. Suchen took a breath and issued an order to the intelligent war chariot. The things here were done, and it was time to go to the Qi family to meet up with Qi Mufeng. Chapter 982. Although Maguang City was not far from the Void Fortress, it would still take a few days. Suchen had a large number of fragments to deal with, so he did not pay too much attention to it. After spending nearly a day, Suchen sorted out the fragments and exchanged them for energy points. The total number of energy points exceeded 300,000. However, if he used all of them to exchange for full attribute fragments, he could only advance to Saint rank 5 at most. Because a level 15 full attribute fragment required 80,000 energy points, a level 16 fragment required at least 100,000 energy points, and a level 17 fragment required more than 200,000 energy points. Therefore, although 300,000 energy points seemed to be a lot, it could only be exchanged for a few fragments. Moreover, he still needed to guard against heaven-scattering Taoist, and could not continue to advance in a short period of time. Su Chen pondered for a while, and decided to leave 100,000 energy points as a backup, and the rest to help his spiritual pets and others to advance. After a while, he exchanged for some constitution potions of various levels and distributed them. Then he opened the planting space and communicated with the life fruit tree. Little show, how is the growth of the life fruit tree? Because he had just received an awakened divine beast, the role of the awakened divine beast could not be described. Therefore, he wanted to let the awakened divine beast grow up quickly, and the awakened divine beast needed to swallow a lot of spiritual liquid to advance. If the life tree grew up, it could produce spiritual liquid. In addition, he could also supply the spiritual liquid produced by the spring of life to the awakened divine beast. Master, the life tree is now 0.5 meter tall, and its growth rate is still very fast. But it will take some time to reach maturity, the life fruit tree said. Su Chen nodded, and then chatted with the life fruit tree for a while before closing the planting space. The growth of the life tree was very important. The 5 thunder fruit tree and other spiritual plants needed its spiritual liquid to be saved. Therefore, the spiritual liquid transformed by the spring of life could only be given to the life tree first. And the awakened divine beast's advancement could only be delayed a little. Behind, Su Chen began to close his eyes and rest. Although it had not been long since he entered the void, he had been running around and fighting nonstop. It could be said that he was physically and mentally exhausted, and he really needed a good rest. The intelligent war chariot flew continuously for 3 days without any obstruction during this period. However, when they were less than 10,000 kilometers away from the Void Fortress, it suddenly warned, "Master, we've discovered a large number of saint-level beings. Which races are they from?" Su Chen asked casually. Now he was in a hurry to get to the Void Fortress. If the other party didn't come looking for trouble, he didn't plan to pay any attention to them. The God Clan, the Night Demon Clan, the Holy Demon Clan, and 2 humans, the intelligent war chariot reported. There were humans as well? Su Chen slowly opened his eyes and ordered, "Satoshi, send me the images of the human saints." There weren't many human saints left. He wondered if it was Forefather Warsky. He'd told Mu Xiangkai to release Forefather Warsky and send him safely back to the Void Fortress. This place was less than 10,000 miles away from the Void Fortress. It was very likely that Forefather Warsky was here. The image on the central control screen changed, and soon the figures of 2 men appeared. One of them was Mu Xiangkai. The other person was an old man with thinning hair who looked a little haggard. Su Chen had never seen Forefather Warsky before, but Shang Tsili definitely knew him. Then he opened the chaos space and called Shang Tsili out. He asked, "Sect Master, take a look. Is he Forefather Warsky of our Sun Moon Star Palace?" "Yes, he's Forefather Warsky," Shang Tsili shouted excitedly when she saw the old man's appearance. Chapter 983. Satoshi, go over immediately. Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot went at full speed and stopped in front of the 2 spaceships in a few minutes. Su Chen opened the door and walked out. "Old John, we're doomed this time." Inside the spaceship, Mu Xiangkai sighed. He had never seen the intelligent war chariot before, so he thought it was the alien spaceship that was blocking their way. He's a human. Old Ancestor Warsky was also disheartened, but when he saw Su Chen, he suddenly exclaimed softly, "A human?" Mu Xiangkai quivered and quickly looked outside. When he saw that it was Su Chen, his expression became very interesting. He laughed and said, "Old John, we're saved. He's Su Chen." He had witnessed Su Chen's strength with his own eyes. The strongest alien chasing them was only a 2nd stage saint rank. In Su Chen's eyes, they were not even ants. With Su Chen here, no one could hurt them. He's Su Chen. Old Ancestor Warsky was pleasantly surprised. He had naturally heard of Su Chen's name. After all, Suchun had joined the Sun Moon Star Palace and was in the same sect as him. He was quite emotional that Suchun could appear here. Suchun was just a new disciple of the Sun Moon Star Palace. He was the Sun Moon Star Palace's old ancestor. However, his help to Suchun was very limited. On the contrary, he had received a lot of favors from Suchun. It was Suchun's credit that he could come out of the sacred region alive. And this time he still had to rely on Suchun. After old ancestor Warsky and Mu Xiangkai's spaceship stopped, the pursuing spaceships also stopped. Soon, 5 saint ranks walked out of the spaceship and surrounded old ancestor Warsky's spaceship. Patriarch Warsky and Mu Xiangkai didn't seem flustered at all. They opened the car door and slowly walked out. The 5 foreign race saints were not in a hurry to attack. Instead, they sized up Suchun. A saint-level flying feather race glanced at Suchun and scolded coldly. "Human, this is none of your business. Piss off or I'll kill you." He had never seen Suchun before, but he could sense the saint-level aura emanating from Suchun's body. Since they did not know Suchun's strength, they were not in a hurry to make a move. "I'm afraid not." The corners of Suchun's mouth twitched as he smiled faintly. "Old ancestor Zhan Tian is a member of our Sun Moon Star Palace. How can I just sit by and do nothing?" Hearing this, the 5 foreign race sages were slightly stunned. As far as they knew, the Sun Moon Star Palace only had 2 saints, Forefather Warsky and Forefather Warfield. However, Forefather Warfield had long since disappeared. Plus, Forefather Warfield had been around for hundreds or even thousands of years. He couldn't be this young. Then who was this young man in front of them? All of a sudden, a name appeared in their minds. Suchun. Suchun was also a member of the Sun Moon Star Palace, and had also reached the saint level. They had captured Forefather Warsky to threaten Suchun. Who would have thought that they would run into him here? After learning of Suchun's true identity, the 5 foreign race sages' expressions turned extremely ugly. Their hearts were in turmoil. Suchun was someone who could casually kill a 3rd-stage saint-level expert. Killing them was no different from squashing an ant. Moreover, Suchun was someone who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. No one who offended him had a good ending. Then could they still survive? The 5 saint-level non-humankind beings glanced at each other, then turned around and scurried away. They knew very well that even if the 5 of them worked together, they would not be a match for Suchun. If they wanted to live, they could only run. You're tuning in to the Li Mei Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.